Naruto God Level System, Chapter 261 to 280. Chapter 261 The Deeply Affectionate Duo. Boy, what do you think I should do with you? Hyuga-chen looked at Nagato with a sneer. Nagato was silent and responded to his words by releasing a Shinra Tensei, Almighty Push, levy on Hyuga-chen. Teacher, be careful, his ninjutsu is very powerful, he can bounce everything off. Kurenai Yuhi reminded. It's just a trick. Hyuga-chen put his hands behind his back and looked at Nagato with a flat face. A repulsive force even more terrifying than Nagato gushed out from Hyuga-chen's body. Nagato only felt a pain in his body, and then smashed to the ground in the distance, spitting out a mouthful of blood with a poof tilde. So powerful. The four girls looked at Hyuga-chen with adoring eyes. The guy who looked so powerful just now, the teacher could easily beat him without using his hands. Hyuga-chen smiled proudly, very satisfied with the look of the four daughters' adoration, and enjoyed this look very much. With the same ability as me, how is it possible? Nagato's unchanging expression finally changed. Didn't Mr. Jiraiya say that his Rinnegan is the eye of creation and destruction, unique except for the six paths immortal? How can the other party have the same ability as him? By the way, why did you conflict with him? Hyuga-chen looked at the fourth daughter curiously. 18. I saw him and another guy tricking people into joining a cult here, so we fought him to save the people, Enko whispered. Removing harm for the people. I didn't expect you, Enko, to have such a good character. Hyuga-chen had a look of contempt on his face. Teaching Enko for so many years, does he still not understand the nature of this little apprentice? Will he be the kind of person who kills evil for the people? If it were Nohara Rin, Hyuga-chen would still believe it, but from Enko's mouth, Hyuga-chen would never believe it. According to Hyuga-chen's guess, it is estimated that Enko wants to meddle in his own business and find a sense of existence. Truth is not bad from what Hyuga-chen had guessed. It was exactly that Enko wanted to look for something, but he didn't expect to kick the iron plate. If it wasn't for the transcribed seal, Takatenhara, left by Hyuga-chen on them, they would be dead now. Although Nagato has not grown to the point of the future, but relying on Rinnegan, he can still exert his cage-level fighting power. Although the four girls of Kurenai Yuhi are also very powerful, the general elite Jonin are not their opponents, but the strength gap between them and Nagato is not small. Rinnegan wasn't just for fun. Even if Nagato couldn't unleash the full power of Rinnegan, Enko and the others, who were not afraid of tigers, would be extremely easy to hang and beat a newborn calf. Before Enko could play a few tricks with Nagato, it was because of Yahiko's oil bottle. Nagato did not dare to use too strong power, for fear of affecting Yahiko. Nagato got up and saw that Hyuga-chen didn't pay attention to him and wanted to sneak away. That big bad guy wants to run. The sharp-eyed Enko saw the sneaky Nagato who wanted to slip away. Nagato's body froze for a moment, and then he quickly hand-seal, using the instant body technique, appeared 100 meters away in an instant. I still want to run, it's not that easy. Bansho Tenon, Universal Pull. In the palm of Hyuga-chen's palm, a gravitational force like a black hole erupted, and he had already run far away. Nagato, with a happy expression on his face, was pulled back by the gravitational force at once. Damn! Being held by Hyuga-chen, Nagato couldn't break free at all, and was carried by Hyuga-chen like a little chicken. And the other party used a Rinnegan's unique ninjutsu again, which also shocked Nagato even more. Boy, it's too cheap to let you run away like this. Hyuga-chen sneered on his face. What do you want? Nagato, who was struggling to open, asked nervously, feeling a little discouraged. Nagato, I brought someone to help you. Yahiko shouted and rushed over with dozens of ninjas. Oh, Hyuga-chen raised his head and looked at Yahiko, who was rushing over from a distance, with a meaningful smile on his face. This guy is the founder of Akatsuki, and Yahiko is also a capable person. After all, not everyone can build an organization. Let go of Nagato. Seeing Nagato being caught, Yahiko panicked. Yahiko, hurry up, You are not his opponent. Nagato shouted loudly. Nagato, I will never give up on you. I will definitely save you. Yahiko said firmly. Hyuga-chen has black lines all over his head. This kind of picture is like a scene in a bubble drama, but both of them are male and have a bit of hot eyes. Teacher, you seem to be the villain. Azuki Yugao poked Hyuga-chen with his finger and whispered. Hyuga-chen was silent, didn't he? This scene usually occurs in idol dramas. The heroine is hijacked by the villain, and then the hero comes to rescue the heroine. In the end, the hero and heroine led a happy life, and the villain usually either dies unexpectedly or is caught and sent to prison. It's just that the plot of Men and Men should only appear in the minds of rotten women. What's going on now? Hey, you don't like that yellow-haired boy, do you? Hyuga-chen asked Nagato. Nagato faced Yuhi, and did not refute. Hyuga-chen was startled and hurriedly threw Nagato out. This guy is a gay, can't be offended, can't be offended. Nagato, are you alright? Yahiko ran over quickly, pulled Nagato up, and looked at him carefully. I'm fine, Yahiko, don't worry. Nagato shook his head, letting Yahiko not need to worry. Don't fall in love with you too. My apprentice who dares to bully you. If you don't make you half crippled today, none of you want to leave. Hyuga interrupted their communication with a sullen look. Who are you? You dare to disrespect our boss. Idiot, they all said that they want to be called the leader. The boss is really ugly. Don't worry, the leader. Seeing that he is not too old, I can help the leader to deal with him. The crowd from Akatsuki shouted. 280 inches he tilde. Hyuga-chen laughed mockingly, and a few kunai formed by photons appeared in his hand, and then he was ashamed to say a few people, and flew out of the so-called people. Whoosh whoosh. Several people fell to the ground, and a fist-sized hole appeared on the chest. Yahiko watched this scene with tears in his eyes. These people were all members of Akatsuki, and he already regarded them as family. Yahiko, don't be impulsive, we are not his opponents. Nagato stretched out his hand to hold Yahiko, and even he was beaten to the ground, not to mention Yahiko who was much weaker than him. Yahiko, who was pulled by Nagato, finally regained his senses, clenched his fists, and finally let go of his hands helplessly. At this time, he was indeed very angry, but he had to be responsible for others. Even if he was impulsive once, it was only them who would be hurt in the end, and he would only lose more partners. How can you let us go? Yahiko clenched his fists. Compensation, if you don't have 1 billion taels, all of you don't have to leave. Hyuga-chen said directly. Yahiko's anger that was originally in his heart rose again. They Akatsuki often did good deeds, and all the money was used to relieve the commoners. Where did the money come from for Hyuga-chen? Don't look at them as an organization, in fact, they are very poor. 1 billion taels is to sell Akatsuki, and Yahiko can't get it. What's more, there is nothing wrong with them, why should they compensate? Yahiko is quite unconvinced. Chapter 262 Sorry I don't make sense. Teacher, we were all terrified. Wouldn't it be too cheap to let them spend 1 billion taels and let them go? Anko came to Hyuga-chen and stared at him with dissatisfaction. My stupid apprentice. Look at how poor they are, can they come up with anything more? Hyuga-chen slapped Anko in disgust. Knock me on the head again, the reason I became so stupid is because you knocked me. Anko squatted on the ground, holding his head in defense. Hyuga-chen glanced at her in surprise, but she didn't expect that she was quite self-aware and knew that she was stupid. It always feels like you're thinking of something bad. Anko looked up at Hyuga-chen with a suspicious look on his face. I have to say that as long as it is a woman, the sixth sense is very strong. Even Anko, a little girl, can feel so sensitive. I feel Anko you are not stupid, not only not stupid, but also very smart. Really, I think so too. Yuhi and the others must be jealous of me, so they call me stupid. Anko gave Kurenai Yuhi and the others an angry look. All right, it seems that to take back his previous thoughts, Anko doesn't seem to have self-awareness. Yahiko, Nagato and the others just stood there stupidly, feeling very aggrieved. The other party seemed to ignore them. Did they have no sense of existence at all, or did the other party ignore them from beginning to end? Teacher, what did they do with these people? Kurenai Yuhi reached out and pulled off Hyuga-chen's clothes. Cough cough tilde, you people bully my apprentice. I should have hacked you to death, but... Hyuga-chen's tone paused. But I am a kind-hearted person and a good person recognized by the entire ninja world, so I will give you a chance. What chance? Yahiko interrupted Hyuga Tatsu's words aloud. The unhappy Hyuga-chen gave Yahiko a stern look. As a person, what he hates most is that someone interrupts his words. Yahiko's face was pale, frightened by Hyuga-chen's vicious eyes. Don't interrupt when I'm talking, otherwise there will only be a few more corpses here. Hyuga-chen warned lightly. Yahiko was very unhappy. Why can you pretend to be forced? I don't even have the right to interject, it's not fair. In 10 days, make up 10 billion taels, send it to me, and that's all. Hyuga-chen just wanted them to collect 1 billion taels in 10 days, but because of Yahiko's intervention, Hyuga-chen directly turned 10 times. How is this possible? Do you think we are specializing in making money? Yahiko was extremely annoyed. 10 billion is not a small amount. Even the annual financial revenue of the Rain country will not exceed 10 billion taels. This is killing them. Then I don't care, I want 10 billion taels. Hyuga-chen looked rogue. PFF tilde, Nohara Rin couldn't help laughing when he looked at the rogue Hyuga-chen. What are you laughing at? What's so funny? Hyuga-chen looked at Nohara Rin suspiciously, not knowing what was funny. It's nothing, Nohara Rin said, covering her face. In fact, she just saw what Hyuga-chen just looked like. She felt very cute. Hyuga-chen must not know about this matter. If Hyuga-chen knew that she felt cute in his heart, he would definitely deal with her severely. Inexplicable. Hyuga-chen shook his head. Same 3 girls, Kurenai Yuhi, Azuki Yugao, and Anko, looked at Nohara Rin with puzzled eyes, not understanding what she suddenly laughed. You are unreasonable, they were the ones who attacked us first. Yahiko roared angrily. Hyuga-chen smiled slightly, then said, sorry, I'm not being reasonable. You, Yahiko was stunned and speechless, and others were unreasonable, what else could he say? Hurry up and get out of here, if I don't see the money within 10 days, none of you will want to live. With a wave of Hyuga-chen, a gust of wind blew them out 100 meters away. There were some very weak people who were directly blown into the sky by the gust of wind, and then fell to their death. Wow, such a powerful ninjutsu, can you teach me that? Anko asked, his eyes shining in surprise. Mighty big guy, this is just AC rank ninjutsu futon, wind style Datapa, great breakthrough. Hyuga-chen pushed Anko's head away. Liar, how could Datapa, great breakthrough, be so powerful? It's definitely a lie. Anko shook his head in disbelief. That's because I'm strong. Really, so can I get to that level? Anko asked expectantly. You should wait until the next life. Hyuga-chen said flatly, without the slightest change in tone. It is because of this that Anko feels angry. If she can beat Hyuga-chen, she will definitely beat him now. Teacher, why do you want so much money? Nohara Rin asked suspiciously. Your wife is a big fat sheep in the ninja world. What do you think I want money for? Then we still have a lot of money here, all of which we got from killing the bandits. Give it to the teacher. Kurenai Yuhi took out a seal scroll. No, how could I ask for the apprentice's money? Then where do I put my face? You are going to slap me in the face. Hyuga-chen sternly refused, he is a principled person. Oh, Kurenai Yuhi looked depressed, and even got choked on giving money, he was so angry. Just when Kurenai Yuhi was about to put away the seal scroll, Hyuga-chen reached out and took it, then put it away as if nothing had happened. Originally, I definitely wouldn't accept your money, but I also know, teacher, that if I don't accept it, you're definitely not at ease. After all, it's your intention, so I accept it. The four girls were shocked by what Hyuga-chan said, staring at Hyuga-chan with contempt. They really don't understand. They obviously have such a powerful strength, but how can they be so shameless? Can they become stronger by being shameless? Look at it, you can't even beat a Nagato. It's a shame. Don't say I'm your teacher when you go out in the future. I know you want to change the subject, but there's no need to despise us. We're not even 11 years old. Kurenai Yuhi stared at Hyuga-chen with resentful eyes. Hyuga-chen's scalp was numb when he was seen, but he was discovered unexpectedly. It seems that Yuhi is not a stupid girl like Anko. Ahem, I'll teach you guys for a while, lest you embarrass me when you go out. Hyuga-chan changed the subject again. What a shame, if it wasn't for that Yuhi-haired guy with weird ninjutsu, I could beat him all over the place to find Kiba by myself. Anko said angrily. Hyuga-chan's mouth twitched. The person who just cried, isn't it you? Don't think you wiped your tears on my clothes and I didn't see it. Just that Hyuga-chan didn't expose Anko and save her face. Chapter 263 The Girls Kill. Shueheim, are you sure, that guy Chen is really in the land of rain? Kushina looked at Shueheim suspiciously. Of course, I won't deceive you, we are good sisters after all. Shueheim giggled. You can pull it down. It's good sister. Tsunade looked at Shueheim with disgust. No matter how they asked about Hyuga-chen's whereabouts, Shueheim didn't tell them, and she was still a sister. Shueheim, if you teleport us to Chen's side, I will trust you. Makoto narrowed his eyes and said. Don't. I can't do this, but I can tell you his specific location. You will know if you go and see. By the way, don't say, I leaked his whereabouts. Shueheim said quickly. Got it, don't worry. Kushina nodded. Terumi Mei, stay with me here. Shueheim reached out and hugged Terumi Mei, and Sarah, come with me here too. By the way, practice, your strength is too weak. Now Sarah is still a quasi-shadow, and has not even entered the cage level, her strength is definitely the bottom of the girls. That's right, you guys just stay here and practice hard. Conan said quickly, blinking at Shueheim by the way. Snowheim nodded knowingly, then hugged Terumi Mei and Sarah, and immediately walked away. Conan made a victory gesture and left the system space with Tsunade, Makoto, and Kushina. Lord Tsunade, where have you been? Why are Sarah and Terumi Mei gone? Shizune Little Loli asked curiously. Going to another space, Tsunade said, picking up Shizune, and then saying, let's go to a Megakure village, go to Tatsu and settle the account, and he dared to run away without saying a word. In fact, if possible, Tsunade would also like to bring Shizune to the system space. After all, it is inconvenient to travel with Shizune. But only Hyuga-chen has the authority to bring people into the system space, which Snowheim can't do, so Tsunade can only bring Shizune with him, he can't leave Shizune behind. Why do you want to hold us so angry? Looking at Conan's smug look, you are colluding. Sarah asked angrily. That's right, Conan asked me to leave you in the system space. Shueheim nodded and didn't hide it. Then what's in it for you? Terumi Mei also stared at Snowheim angrily. Shueheim stretched her finger to her cheek and thought about it for a long time, but she didn't think it would be any good for her. Yeah, it doesn't seem to do me any good, Shueheim said with a cute face. Sarah and Terumi Mei almost vomited blood. It's no good. Why are you helping Conan? Are you sick? Then we're going out. I don't have time to accompany you. I have to see what the hell that woman Conan is up to. Terumi Mei was about to leave the system space immediately. It's useless, without my consent, unless Chen comes in and takes you out, you won't be able to get out at all. Shueheim said proudly. Damn, let's get out now. No, I'm mad at you, just a little bit Tilda. Shueheim stuck out her small tongue and kept drawing hatred. Heim angrily. It was definitely impossible to fight. In the system space, Shueheim was like an omniscient and almighty god. As long as Shueheim didn't want to, they couldn't even touch Shueheim's finger. Laulu Tilda. What's wrong? Laula's, who was sleeping on the grass next to her, was awakened, rubbed her eyes, and asked in a cute lowly voice. "It's nothing, you go to sleep." Shueheim reached out and touched Lalu Lassie's head. "Oh," Lalulas nodded, then fell to the ground and fell asleep. The three women watching were speechless for a while. "You fell asleep too fast." "Shueheim, don't think we can't do anything to you. I'm going to tell Chen about you revealing his whereabouts, then." Hum. "Let's wait and see." Terumi Mei sneered again and again. "It doesn't matter, anyway, even if no one said anything, he can guess." Shueheim smiled slightly, showing an indifferent attitude. However, whether Shueheim is really so calm in his heart, only Shueheim knows. "I'm sure that Conan is definitely plotting something wrong. I'm really pissed off." Terumi Mei's anger shuddered. If Hyuga Chen was here, she would definitely be attracted. "Do you know the inside story?" Sarah asked Shueheim. Shueheim shook his head and said, "I don't know either." "Then why did you promise her?" Shueheim's face was Yuhi. She was praised by Conan at first, and then she agreed to Conan in a confused way to help her drag Sarah and Terumi Mei into the system space. ... Life is so leisurely. Hyuga-chan was lying on a hammock with a shed to keep out the rain, and there was a table next to it with delicious food and wine. It would be even better if this gloomy weather was removed. "I'm so lazy, I only know how to enjoy it," and said that I want to instruct us to cultivate, but in the end, it's not for us to cultivate on our own. Enko complained. "Stop complaining, or that unscrupulous teacher will find another reason to punish us." Kurenai Yuhi followed Enko to practice taijutsu. In fact, Kurenai Yuhi is the most depressing one. As a ninja of Grandmaster Demonic Illusion, instead of practicing demonic illusion, he is here to practice martial arts that are looked down upon by demonic illusion ninjas. "Don't talk in a low voice. Don't think I can't hear you, but I can hear it clearly. If you don't want to double your training volume, just give me a good practice." Hyuga Chen closed his eyes and said lightly. Damn. The four girls were very angry when they listened to Hyuga-chan's words. These days, they were punished by Hyuga-chan a lot, and they were tired like dead dogs every day. Hyuga Chen seemed to see the anger in their hearts, and a smile appeared on her face. But what Hyuga-chan didn't know was that because he didn't take care of Shueheim these days, Shueheim told the girls his address, and now Tsunade they were killing him. If she knew, Hyuga Chen wouldn't be so leisurely now. A few days later, the four daughters Tsunade, Makoto, Kushina, Konan, and Shizune, who had passed out due to traveling too fast, finally came to the land of rain. "I don't know what that guy is doing in the country of rain. I hate seeing the weather in the country of rain. Makoto, can you use the Shinra Tensei Almighty Push to clear the clouds?" Kushina asked. Makoto shook his head and said, "It's not impossible, but once there is such a big movement, it will definitely disturb Chen. What if he runs away?" "Forget it." Kushina nodded depressedly, and decided in her heart that she would definitely make him look good after seeing Hyuga Chen. However, Makoto still uses the Shinra Tensei Almighty Push sign to repel the misty drizzle. Although the rain is not big, it will still make the clothes wet when drenched on the body. Tsunade held Shizune, who had passed out, and walked in front with Makoto and Kushina. Konan was at the back, his eyes were shining brightly, and he seemed to be thinking about something. Chapter 264 The Most Important Sister Loyalty. "Keep your breath, don't let the big bad guys find us," Kushina whispered. "Kushina, he's still far from here. What are you doing with such a small voice?" Tsunade looked at Kushina speechlessly, feeling that Kushina was a little silly. "You forgot, big bad observation hockey, you can hear other people's conversations." Kushina glared at Tsuna, and whispered. Makoto patted Kushina with his hands. "Why?" Kushina looked at Makoto suspiciously. "Kushina, even if you keep your voice down, you can still hear it," Makoto reminded with a smile. A row of crows flew over Kushina's head. Kushina seemed to hear inexplicable ridicule, and her face instantly turned Yuhi, and she said loudly, "Of course I know, I'm just joking with you." Makoto snickered twice while covering his mouth, while Tsunade was less tactful and laughed loudly, but Conan was absent-minded and didn't know what he was thinking. Kushina glanced at the two girls angrily, then ignored them, walked to Conan's side, and patted Conan. "Conan, what's wrong with you? Why do you have such a Yuhi face? Are you thinking about spring?" Kushina teased. "Sister Kushina, what are you talking about? I ignore you." Conan covered his face shyly. Kushina looked confused. Wasn't she just joking? So what? Following the map given by Yuki Haim, Kushina and the others finally saw Hyuga-chen not far away. "No wonder I just slipped away. It turned out to be here to find little Loli, this pervert lolicon. I won't kill him." Tsunade squeezed his fist. "Well, these are all Chen's disciples. They should only be here to train disciples." Makoto whispered. "Don't you think the teacher-student relationship is more attractive? Don't forget that I used to be your teacher." Tsunade snorted and said coldly. "That's right, I have to give this big pervert some color." Kushina bit Kiba and put all the embarrassment in her heart on Hyuga-chan's body. It was all Hyuga-chan's fault. "Stop peeking, come out," Hyuga-chen said helplessly. How could Tsunade and the others hide their actions from Hyuga-chen? "Humph, you're enjoying yourself here." Tsunade came out angrily. "Of course, as long as there is meat and wine, there are only beautiful women, and now beautiful women are automatically delivered to the door." Hyuga-chen laughed. "Come here quickly and meet your wife." Hyuga-chen shouted to the four daughters who were working hard not far away. "Oh, meet the mistress." Perfunctory, this reluctant look is definitely perfunctory. "Mr. Pervert, is this also a teacher?" Kurenai Yuhi pointed at Shizune and looked at Hyuga-chen blankly. I'm not you. She's not your wife. What are you thinking in your little head? Why are you thinking so unhealthy?" Hyuga-chen tapped Kurenai Yuhi's head with his finger. Shizune looked at Hyuga-chen resentfully. "You would embarrass me like this, you know." "It was Shueheim who told you that I'm here." Hyuga-chen had doubts, but he was already sure. "No." Tsunade and the others shook their heads quickly, but they had promised Shueheim, and they would never reveal that she said it. Good sisters should be loyal. "I don't like women who lie, and women who lie are to be punished." Hyuga-chen narrowed his eyes, and there was a malicious light in his eyes. The faces of the four women who were hesitating changed, and after looking at each other, their eyes were firm. "It's all about loyalty between sisters. I am the most important person. I will never tell you that it was Shueheim who told us your address," Tsunade said firmly. Hyuga-chen sneered. "Very good, I am loyal to you sisters. I am impressed, then accept the punishment." Hyuga-chen reached out and hugged Tsunade, Makoto, and Kushina, who were terrified, and then used space ninjutsu to appear in a luxurious house not far away. Deserving it. Shueheim, who was in the system space, made Yuhi face Yuhi, but she was very relieved. She sold her without even thinking about it. It was really sad. Conan looked at the luxury residence in the distance with a resentful expression, and felt very aggrieved. "Isn't she still there?" Actually dropped her. The four female apprentices of Shizune and Hyuga-chen quickly stepped back and looked at Conan with a frightened expression. Because of the resentment in their hearts, Conan involuntarily radiated the cold air, causing the surrounding temperature to drop below zero, and frost formed on the ground, and they almost froze. "I said, mistress, can you take care of us?" Anko said shivering. Conan quickly put away the cold air and looked at the girls apologetically. At the same time, the name of Anko made her feel a touch of joy in her heart, and her eyes became much gentler. The more she looked at Anko, the more she liked it and could speak. But what Anko said next made Conan in a bad mood. "Why didn't the teacher take you with me? Is it because I don't like you, or are you not a teacher at all?" Conan almost spurted blood. Why did he speak so piercingly? He just misunderstood her. Seeing the uncertainty on Conan's face, Nohara Rin, who winked, hurriedly gave her a hand. "What are you pulling me for?" Anko looked at Nohara Rin suspiciously. Nohara Rin was also speechless. Enko seemed helpless, originally thought she was just low in IQ, but she didn't expect her emotional intelligence to be high. Don't worry about that, mistress, she has a problem here. Kurenai Yuhi pointed his finger at his head. When Conan heard the words, his face became better, and he also showed sympathy to Enko. Confused Enko came back to his senses and looked at Kurenai Yuhi angrily. Don't think I don't know, you're saying I'm stupid again. Okay, let's go and see what the teachers are doing. Kurenai Yuhi snorted, skipping the topic. Don't. Conan stopped quickly. They don't know what Hyuga-chen is going to do, doesn't she know? What's wrong? The four girls looked puzzled. The girls in the Hokage world are indeed precocious, but there are no sex education books in Hokage, Before Jiraiya wrote Intimacy Paradise, there was none. So they, who are less than 11 years old, don't know what real intimacy is. Well, let's have a chat here. Conan said embarrassedly. How could she say such a thing, and at the same time couldn't help complaining about Hyuga-chen in her heart. The main thing is to complain that Hyuga-chen didn't take her with her. Don't you know she's been looking forward to it for a long time? That's right, it's fine for us to chat. Shizune also reacted, and said with a yuhi face. With Hyuga-chen and the others was not short, and Shizune knew a little bit, she had been woken up by that sound before. Although the four girls were puzzled, they did not refuse, but they were a little embarrassed because they were not familiar with each other. However, the girls got to know each other very quickly, and they started chatting in a short while. Of course, it was Enko who was talking and the others listening. Because apart from Enko, the rest are not talkative girls. Chapter 265 Bold Conan. Teacher, why did you go? Where's mistress? Enko asked suspiciously. Cough. Children don't have so many problems. Your wife is tired, go to rest. Hyuga-chen coughed a few times. Oh, furious Enko pouted depressedly. Looking up, he saw Conan looking at him with resentful eyes. Hyuga-chen scratched his head and gave Conan an embarrassed smile. Brother, I have something to call you tonight. Conan's voice was low. But Hyuga-chen can definitely hear it, and looking at Conan's shy face, Hyuga-chen can roughly guess what Conan is looking for. Said that Conan has grown up. The cute loli at the beginning has grown into a beautiful girl and can already. Okay, Hyuga-chen smiled and gave Conan a meaningful look. Conan's cheeks were with Yuhi, and his little hands were holding the clothes unnaturally, looking very nervous. Let's go eat first. Hyuga-chen unconsciously touched Conan's head. I've grown up, and I always feel like you've always treated me like a child, brother. Conan took away Hyuga-chen's hand and pouted. Hyuga-chen smiled slightly, then took Conan's hand and walked to the table. It was already evening and it was time for dinner. Dinner was made by Conan and Nohara Rin together, and the food was delicious. Teacher, don't you come out to eat? Nohara Rin asked. Well, they're too tired now, just leave a little for them and let them rest. Let's eat first, and I'll give you a chicken leg. Hyuga-chen picked up a chicken leg and put it in the Nohara Rin bowl, blocking her cue. Me too, Enko immediately cooed. Can't you clip it yourself? Rin is the hero of cooking, you are not qualified to ask for this. Hyuga-chen tapped Enko's head with his chopsticks. What's the big deal, I can cook too. Enko snorted, disapprovingly. Then cook and eat it yourself. Hyuga-chen glanced at her and said with a smile. Enko stopped talking. She did know how to cook, but the taste was not good. Although it couldn't compare to Tsunade and Kushina's dark dishes, it wasn't much better. After the meal, the four little apprentices cleared the table, and Hyuga-chen was pulled away by the shy Conan. After entering the room, Conan's heart was beating rapidly, several times faster than before, and he was about to die of nervousness. Conan, what's your business with me? Hyuga-chen asked with a smirk, and he asked this question completely knowingly. Conan's cheeks turned to Yuhi, as if he was about to cry. Ha. Hyuga-chan couldn't help laughing when he saw Conan's embarrassed look. What are you laughing at? I'm laughing at how cute you are. Hyuga-chan stretched out his hands to squeeze Conan's cheeks and squeezed slightly. Conan pursed her lips and took Hyuga-chan's hand away. She didn't like being pinched by Hyuga-chan because it was as if she was still a child. Conan didn't want to be treated like a child, especially when the other party was Hyuga-chan. Taking Hyuga-chan's hand away, Conan looked at Hyuga-chan seriously with a firm look in his eyes. In order to create this good opportunity, Conan asked Shueheim to keep the two troublemakers Sarah and Terumi Mei in the system space, so Conan will never give up this opportunity, otherwise I don't know if there will be such a thing in the future. Good timing. Brother Chen, I like you. Concentrating all the shyness in his heart, Conan said loudly, and after speaking, he couldn't help covering his face with his hands, too shy. Hyuga-chan looked at Conan steadily, but he didn't expect Conan to have such a bold side. You must know that Conan's character is different from Kushina, who dares to love and hate. Conan's character is relatively shy, and he can confess to him so directly, which shows Conan's heart. Seeing that Hyuga Tatsumaki didn't say anything for a long time, Conan's eyes turned to Yuhi. A hazy mist of water accumulated in his eyes, and it might turn into a downpour at any time. Does my brother not like me? Conan's thoughts ran wild. Then Conan looked certain and slammed on Hyuga-chan. Hyuga-chan was sluggish, and was actually raped, or was raped by the gentle and delicate Conan. This feeling is really refreshing. Feeling Conan's clumsy movements, Hyuga-chan reached out and hugged Conan, turning her back on the guest. Conan was flustered at first, and then very happy. It seems that her brother still likes her. After a long time, Hyuga-chan let go of Conan's face. Yuhi was lying in Hyuga-chan's arms, feeling the warm and sunny breath of Hyuga-chan. Brother Chen, do you like Conan? After a long time, Conan finally raised her head, her eyes glowing with anticipation. She was afraid that Hyuga-chan would directly say no. Of course I do, I like Conan very much. Hyuga-chan smiled and stroked Conan's hair. I'm talking about the love between men and women, Conan said quickly. Little idiot, I'm talking about the kind you think. Hyuga-chan gently stroked Conan's forehead. Really? Great. Conan jumped up happily, looking at Hyuga-chan with tender eyes. Then, since you like me too, brother, can we do that kind of thing? Conan didn't know where to put his hands, and couldn't help himself. Seeing this, Hyuga-chan had a wicked smile on his face. Excuse me, Conan, what exactly is that kind of thing? It's. Conan couldn't say it for a long time. She is a girl, how can she say such a shameful thing? Confused and shy, Conan suddenly raised his head to see Hyuga-chan's bad face, and his face suddenly showed a touch of anger. This abominable unscrupulous brother is actually teasing her, isn't he? How shy she is now. Infuriated, Conan stomped hard. Seeing the black gas on Conan's body, with a gloomy appearance, Hyuga-chan had already reached out to hug Conan and went up again. Conan, who was about to get angry at 4.8, turned Yuhi when he was hugged by Hyuga-chan, and the anger on his face disappeared. Hyuga-chan gave himself a compliment in his heart, and sighed that he was smart and witty. Before they knew it, the two of them came to Chuong, and from then on, there was one less girl and one more woman in this world. Because Conan is the first time, Hyuga-chan is not too much, but Hyuga-chan is very distressed for his own woman. Anyway, there will be more time in the future, there is no need to be in a hurry, leaving a good night for Conan is the most important. And Hyuga-chan's 4 female apprentices looked at the door with strange eyes. Although they didn't know what they were doing, the sixth sense of women told them that it was definitely not a good thing. As for Shizune, she went to rest earlier, took 2 balls of cotton, and plugged it into her ears. Chapter 266 Plastic Sisters. Early the next morning, Hyuga-chan opened his eyes. Conan, like a kitten, has a satisfied smile on his face. Conan who looks like a fairy in the picture. Hyuga-chen reached out and stroked Conan's blue-purple hair. No, I really can't do it. Conan, who was still sleeping, took away Hyuga-chen's hand and said, shaking his head. Hyuga-chen had black lines all over his head, reached out and squeezed Conan's nose, then put on his clothes, got up and got out of bed, and after taking a shower, Hyuga-chen walked out of the door. Yo, young Master Hyuga is out. Tsunade, who was holding a bowl of lean meat porridge in his hand, glanced at Hyuga-chen with an expression of watching the show. Makoto, Kushina, and the others were equally at ease with the bowls in their hands, resting their chins with their hands, and looked at Hyuga-chen with interest, as well as Sarah and Terumi-mei. Sarah and Terumi-mei were angry and stared at Hyuga-chen with sharp eyes, as if they were going to eat him. Damn big villain, you know we are in your 19th space world, but you still don't bring us out. Are you afraid that we will ruin the good thing for you and Conan? Did you plan ahead? Sarah and Terumi-mei questioned. That's right, this is exactly what he negotiated with Shueheim and Conan. You must not let him go easily. Kushina slapped the table and stood up. Kushina, who was afraid that the world would not be in chaos, kept fanning the flames. Kushina, it looks like you have a lot of energy. It looks like I will focus on taking care of you next time. Hyuga-chen looked at Kushina with a gloomy face. I won't be afraid of you, Kushina said, but in a low voice, with little confidence. What are you talking about? I can't hear you clearly, can you speak up? Hyuga-chen leaned over to Kushina's side. I'm saying you are so handsome. Kushina changed her face instantly, hugged Hyuga-chen's arm, and said with a smile. I like people like you who tell the truth, I will reward you. Hyuga-chen smiled and kissed Kushina's lips. Kushina isn't shy, she's an old couple, it's just some ambiguous little gestures, what's so shy? Don't change the subject. Sarah ran over, jumped on Hyuga-chen, grabbed his clothes and said. With a smile on her face, Hyuga-chen had already decided in her heart that she had to beat Shueheim 800 times. This woman was always tricking herself. Sarah, what do you want? Do you want me to make it up to you? Hyuga-chen's face kept getting closer to Sarah, and soon his lips touched. White smoke rose from Sarah's head. Yuhi's face was like a monkey's butt, and her body remained motionless. Terumi-mei was intrigued when she saw it, stretched out her hand to pull Sarah away, and said angrily, to actually bully Sarah, what a big bad guy. About Terumi-mei in her heart, why did she pull her away? Don't be afraid, Sarah, he will never be able to bully you with me. Terumi-mei assured her while patting her breast. Sarah wanted to vomit blood, which was definitely Terumi-mei's intention. What do you want to do? Just come at me. Don't bully Sarah, Terumi-mei said righteously, and moved her body towards Hyuga-chen after saying that. As your good sister, how can I let you stand in front of me, Terumi-mei? Don't worry, I'm not afraid of him, I will fight against the evil forces to the end. Sarah pulled Terumi-mei behind her and said with a serious expression. Tsunade and the others watched this scene with excitement, their eyes flashing with eagerness, and they wanted to intervene. Seeing their intentions, Hyuga-chen immediately warned them with his eyes to let them settle down, otherwise they wouldn't turn into a mess. What are the four of you watching? Hurry up and let me practice. Hyuga-chen said to the four of them, Kurenai Yuhi, who also watched the show. Just know that bullying us, apprentices have no rights, Kurenai Yuhi snorted heavily, and then left with his sister. Then Hyuga-chen looked at Shizune. Shizune, who was staring at the ceiling, suddenly came back to his senses. Before Hyuga-chen could speak, he left the house with the piggy pig in his arms. Yes, I have understanding. Hyuga-chen glanced at Shizune admiringly, this lowly winked. Accept the punishment. Sarah suddenly jumped into Hyuga-chen's arms and bit Hyuga-chen's neck. But Sarah didn't exert any force, and even stuck out her tongue to lick it. Hyuga-chen was stunned, is this here to give him welfare? Damn, Terumi-mei shivered with anger, What good sisters, they are plastic sisters, and they will shatter when touched. Get up for me. Terumi May pulled Sarah hard, but Sarah hugged Hyuga-chen and didn't let go, which made Terumi May even more annoyed. The two women were in a stalemate like this, until Conan yawned and walked out of the room. The dispute between the two women temporarily stopped, and the guns were directed against Conan. What do you see me doing? Conan said shyly. I didn't expect you to be able to do it, Conan. With my style back then, did you feel comfortable last night? Kushina walked over and asked, wrapping her arms around Conan's shoulders. Sister Kushina, what are you talking about? Conan stomped her feet, extremely shy. Did I say anything? I was just asking if you had a good night's sleep last night. It seems that Conan, your mind is not pure. Kushina shook her head and smiled wickedly. Conan, you actually plot against us, are you still a good sister? Terumi May came over angrily. When are we good sisters? Conan said lightly. 443 inches instead of following me, you might as well see your real good sister. Conan said slightly jealously. After Terumi May heard this, she quickly turned her head to look at Sarah, who was lying motionless on Hyuga-chen, and was instantly blown away. Sarah, didn't we agree? Terumi May asked. In the system space, they had agreed to fight Conan together. The raw rice is already cooked, so what's the point of talking about it? Sarah said gloomily. Terumi May thought about it, and what Sarah said really made sense. Conan and Tsunade at this time had completely become Hyuga-chen's women, so it was useless for her to complain. Being one step ahead of the woman Conan, we must never fall behind the woman Sarah. Terumi May thought to herself, and at the same time she had an idea. I'm going to see Kurenai Yuhi and the others to practice. Let's chat here. Looking at the girls who were staring at him, Hyuga-chen helplessly put Sarah down. After Hyuga-chen left, the atmosphere in the room immediately froze. Tsunade, Makoto, and Kushina don't really care. Anyway, they are ready to accept Conan. Although they are a little jealous, they are still peaceful. As for Conan, Sarah and Terumi May, there was some tension between them. However, Conan's face was calm, and she was even a little smug in her heart. Anyway, she had come to the front, one step faster than Sarah and Terumi May. Chapter 267. What do you say? In the blink of an eye, half a month has passed. In the past half month, Sarah and Terumi May have been fighting. As for Conan, they ran out of time to trouble Conan. Hyuga-chen was sandwiched between Sarah and Terumi May, and that was all. Tofu. Tofu is really delicious. Hyuga-chen is delicious. If possible, Hyuga-chen would like to have more tofu. But if Hyuga-chen dared to do that, it is estimated that Sarah and Terumi May would immediately get angry, and then beat Hyuga-chen, thinking of the scum in the pot before they could finish eating it. That guy Yahiko is really hard-headed, he's really not afraid of death. At the beginning, Hyuga-chen gave them a 10-day deadline and asked them to send the money within 10 days. Now that half a month has passed, they have not sent the money, and they clearly don't take him seriously. White Zetsu, come out for me. Hyuga-chen said lightly. Lord Chen, I don't know why you came here to find Xiao for a big deal. White Zetsu said respectfully immediately. Of course, this White Zetsu is not the real body, but a clone of White Zetsu. Give this to Hyuga Hamura. Hyuga-chen threw a scroll to White Zetsu, then turned and left. White Zetsu looked confused. Who is Hyuga Hamura? Lord Chen, can you give me a specific location? In the land of rain, you can find it yourself. When White Zetsu wanted to ask again, Hyuga-chen had already gone far and could only hold the scroll in distress. As soon as Hyuga-chen returned, Terumi May ran over immediately, holding Hyuga-chen's arms in both hands. Her eyes were as gentle as water, like a little wife. My dear is back. Are you tired? Do you want to drink some water? Should I eat first, or should I eat first? Tilde me. He also gave Hyuga-chen a wink. Saucy fox. Sarah scolded angrily. She couldn't compare to Terumi May's face, but she couldn't be as good as Terumi May. What if I choose to eat you first? Hyuga-chan stretched out his fingers, raised Terumi Mei's chin, and asked meaningfully. I'll wait for you in the room. Terumi Mei shyly ran to the room. Hyuga-chan was speechless. He was just teasing Terumi Mei, but she didn't expect her to take it seriously, so he wanted to go. This is a problem. Terumi Mei really has 2 strokes. Kushina said with interest. You're not allowed to go. Sarah opened her arms and stopped Hyuga-chan. She wouldn't let Terumi Mei succeed. Chen, why don't you go? There's a beautiful lady waiting for you in the room. Ha ha ha. Makoto smiled tenderly. The end. Because of Sarah's relationship, Hyuga-chan was naturally unable to go to Terumi Mei's room, which made Terumi Mei very resentful. Hyuga-chan spreads his hands. There is no way, who is stopped by Sarah. Otherwise, Hyuga-chan will definitely go to discuss the philosophy of life with Terumi Mei. After lunch, I asked Tsunade and the others to supervise the cultivation of the 4 apprentices, and Hyuga-chan dodged into the system space. Because she has been entangled by Sarah and Terumi Mei, Hyuga-chan has not entered the system space for a while. It is estimated that Shueheim and Lalu Lassie should be angry. Seeing Hyuga-chan, Shueheim's face showed a happy expression, and then disappeared in an instant, with no expression on his face. Lalu tilde brother. Lalu drawing was stunned for a moment, then used her superpower to teleport, and instantly came to Hyuga-chan's head. Her little hand grabbed Hyuga-chan's hair and tugged hard. Humph. I didn't come to see Lalu Lassie for so long. I'm angry and I want to punish you. Lalu Lassie shouted tenderly. You didn't forget me. Shueheim looked at Hyuga-chan resentfully, and that resentful gaze made Hyuga-chan's scalp numb, as if he had done something outrageous to Shueheim. At such a time, the topic must be changed, otherwise Shueheim's eyes will simply be unbearable. Reaching out and hugging Lalu Lassie, who was suffocating and pulling his hair, Hyuga-chan looked at Shueheim viciously. It's not because of you, it's because you told them about my whereabouts, so I'm not at all free now, and you still have the face to blame me. Hyuga-chan slapped her back. You are such a bastard and a scum. It was because of the temptation of beauty that you put me aside and said such things. Don't get angry quickly. Sorry, I'll never get old. Shueheim said blankly. Hyuga-chan had a headache, and without saying a word, put Lalu Lassie on the ground, then hugged Shueheim and kissed him. There is nothing that can't be solved by a kiss. If there is, then kiss more times. Sure enough, after the kiss, Shueheim turned pale Yuhi, and was no longer angry. Big bad guy. Shueheim Yuhi slapped Hyuga-chan with a slap in the face, and took the opportunity to bully others. Really? So happy. Lalu Lassie bit her fingers and looked at Hyuga-chan and Shueheim curiously. She didn't know anything about everything, she was just a blank piece of paper, so she didn't know what Hyuga-chan and Shueheim were doing. If you don't understand, ask. Lalu Lassie is a good boy who is studious. Using his mind to float, Lalu Lassie tugged Hyuga-chan and Shueheim. Brother and sister, what were you 2 doing just now? Lalu asked suspiciously. Snoheim, who was shy before, almost fainted from shyness now, slapped Hyuga-chan angrily, and kissed her in front of Lalu Lassie. It was too shy. Lalu Lassie, this is an adult thing, and I will know it when I grow up. Hyuga-chan reached out to hold Shueheim's hand, preventing her from struggling, and said to Lalu Lassie softly. Grow up. But why can't I grow up? Lalu looked at her small body and said a little discouraged. You will grow up in the future. Hyuga-chan smiled and comforted. Oh, Lalu nodded. What she didn't know was that as long as she didn't evolve, she would never grow up. Lalu Lassie, you can play by yourself first. My sister and I have something to do. Hyuga-chan stroked Lalu Lassie's little head. Although unhappy, the obedient Lalu Lassie nodded obediently. Hyuga-chan smiled, then pulled Shueheim away. What are you doing? Shueheim's voice trembled slightly, both nervous and expectant, and her heart was very contradictory. What are you talking about? Hyuga Chen gave a wicked smile, stroking Shui Haim's jade white cheeks with his palms. Shui Haim didn't struggle, just looked at Hyuga Chen silently, Yuhi's face almost dripping blood. Lang Yuking, concubine intention, everything is a matter of course. Shui Haim changed from a girl to a real woman. A few hours passed, and after everything was over, Snowheim turned pale. Yuhi looked at Hyuga Chen with a smirk, and couldn't help giving him a Byakugan. Looking at your eyes, are you not convinced? Hyuga Chen leaned into Shui Haim's ear and said softly. I don't have it. Shui Haim said quickly. She was not Hyuga Chen's opponent when she was first in personnel, and she couldn't stand it if Hyuga Chen continued. Chapter 268 Big Gift Package from the System. Lalu tilde damn brother, why haven't you come out yet? It's not worth talking. Lalu Lassie's cheeks bulged. Waiting for a long time, she didn't see Hyuga Chen come out to play with her, and Lalula's was already angry. They must be playing by themselves, without Lalu Lassie. I am so pissed off. Lalu Lassie, who was squatting on the ground, stood up and ran angrily to the castle not far away. She wanted to catch her hateful brother, but she actually deceived Lalu Lassie. Coming to the door, Lalula's carefully leaned over her head and listened to the voice inside. I can't seem to hear the sound. Lalula's scratched her head. Bump, bump, bump. Lalula's knocked on the door. What's wrong with Lalula's? Get up quickly. Shui Haim pushed Hyuga Chen in a panic. Just when Hyuga Chen was about to do something, Lalu Lassie directly used teleportation to come in. Hyuga Chen and Shui Haim lying on the bed, Lalu Lassie said dissatisfiedly, so you were sleeping, but you left Lalu Lassie alone outside. Lalu Lassie is not happy. That Lalu Lassie, you go out first, and I will definitely play with you in a while. Hyuga Chen 757 said quickly. I don't believe it. You lied, brother, you are a big liar. Lalu Lassie jumped on the bed, and then got into the bed. I'll sleep with you. Lalula's closed her eyes and fell asleep within a few seconds. Hyuga Chen and Shui Haim looked at each other and exhaled at the same time. When Hyuga Chen wanted to get up, Lalu Lassie, who was sleeping, suddenly got up, and then reached out and hugged Hyuga Chen. What are you doing, brother? Do you want to run, brother? Don't you like Lalu Lassie? Lalu Lassie said pitifully. Hyuga Chen smiled stiffly, then touched Lalu Lassie's head and said softly, brother likes Lalu Lassie very much, you go to bed first. I won't go. But I'm not sleepy. Lalu Lassie scratched her head and said, staring at Hyuga Chen. Hyuga Chen lifted her bowl cover and looked at her pure and flawless eyes. Hyuga Chen couldn't blame her either. Gave Shui Haim a wink. Shui Haim nodded knowingly, changed her clothes in a single thought, then glanced at Lalu Lassie with a bit of resentment, picked her up and left. After Shui Haim left with Lalu Lassie in his arms, Hyuga Chen quickly changed his clothes and followed him out. Sister Shui Haim, why are you limping? Did you fall? Lalula's asked while biting her hand. Shui Haim almost fell to the ground, which made her reply so, and she could only nod stiffly. Sister Shui Haim was so careless that she would still fall, so stupid, even Lalu Lassie would not fall. Lalu Lassie said proudly. That's right, your sister Snowheim is too stupid. Hyuga Chen reached out and hugged Lalu Lassie. Who are you calling stupid? Shui Haim looked at Hyuga Chen angrily. Ahahaha tilde, Hyuga Chen said with a ha ha ha. Humph, I don't care about you as much. Shui Haim snorted softly and snatched Laloras from Hyuga Chen's arms. Lalu Lassie, don't be with him, he will teach you bad. Shui Haim said to Lalu Lassie with a serious face. But I like being with my brother. Lalu Lassie looked at Shui Haim stubbornly, and after speaking, Lalu Lassie used teleportation and appeared in Hyuga Chen's arms again. Hyuga Chen looked at Shui Haim with a smug look on his face, and patted Lalu Lassie on the head as a reward. After playing with Lalu Lassie for a few hours, Lalu Lassie went to rest. This is for you. Snowheim handed a Yuhi-colored gift bag to Hyuga-chen. Isn't this a system reward package? Where did you come from? Hyuga-chen looked at Shuiheim suspiciously. Why are you asking so much? Snowheim Yuhi said shyly and loudly. Could it be because of us that the system sent it? If you don't want it, I'll throw it away. Shuiheim said angrily. Shuiheim's performance made Hyuga-chen even more convinced of his guesses. He stretched out his hand to take the gift package. Hyuga-chen shouted loudly, the system will give me a few more system elves. Go to hell, there is only one system elf. Shuiheim beat Hyuga-chen's chest angrily with her small fist. Hyuga-chen's words just now really made her angry. Just kidding, system elf, I only recognize you, Shuiheim. Hyuga-chen reached out and hugged Shuiheim in his arms, comforting. Humph, hurry up and open the gift pack. Shuiheim snorted softly and said. Hyuga-chen looked at the big gift bag. The gift bag was engraved with the word she. It was very Yuhi-fire and full of festive flavor. How to open this gift bag? Hyuga-chen turned over and over again, but couldn't find a way to open the gift bag. It takes us two to open it together. Yuhi gave Yuki-heim a face, and then returned to normal. Hyuga-chen and Shuiheim put their hands on it. A dazzling Yuhi light flashed, and the contents inside were completely displayed in front of them. The first thing that caught my eye was a pair of rings. One was a purple gold men's ring, and the other was a Yuhi-colored women's ring. Shuiheim brought it over happily, gave the purple gold ring to Hyuga-chen, and then put on the Yuhi-colored ring. Hyuga-chen took the purple gold ring and took it with him. After studying it, Hyuga-chen found a Yuhi-colored ring that was exactly the same as Snowheim's again. Is there no other ability other than making women's rings? The system is really stingy. Hyuga-chen complained. It's actually possible to make a ring, which means I'm not the only one. Shuiheim looked depressed and unhappy. Then Hyuga-chen looked at what was left. Tenseigan potion. It can make Byakugan of Hyuga family evolve into Tenseigan, with blood of Otsutsuki family. P.S. only useful for Hyuga family. Hyuga-chen's eyes lit up, but when he saw that it was only useful to the Hyuga family, Hyuga-chen frowned. If so, the value would be discounted. Forget it, just keep it for Sister Hinata. Hyuga-chen thought for a while and said. Beast, Hyuga Hinata hasn't been born yet, you hit her idea. If her father Hyuga Hiyashi knows what you think, he will definitely fight with you. Shuiheim despised this shameless guy. Hyuga-chen didn't care. Anyway, he was thick-skinned and put the Tenseigan potion into the system backpack and put it away. Open black lens bracket Rinnegan elixir close black lens bracket. Allows the Sharingan of the Uchiha family to evolve into a Rinnegan, with a sage body. P.S. only people from the Uchiha family can use. A gift pack contains 3 things, a pair of rings, and 2 bottles of potions. This gift package is really rich. If there is another gift package, it will be even better. Hyuga-chen said greedily. You guy, are you still thinking about other system elves? Shuiheim's cold voice reached Hyuga-chen's ears. Hyuga-chen shyly smiled, and quickly said good things to Shuiheim, saying all kinds of good things. Shuiheim would let him go. P.S. I don't understand why the last chapter was locked in a small dark room. It is estimated that it will come out tomorrow. Chapter 269 The Nose is Smart. Accompanying Shuiheim for a while, Hyuga-chen left the system space. Why did you go? As soon as Hyuga-chen left the system space, she saw Terumi-mei looking at him with a resentful expression, as if Hyuga-chen had done something wrong to her. What's wrong? Hyuga-chen asked in confusion. Humph. Terumi-mei sat on the sofa angrily. Last night, she finally made up her mind and decided to attack Hyuga-chen at night. Result. Hyuga-chen went to the system space and didn't come out at all, so Terumi-mei's plans all fell through, which is why she resented Hyuga-chen so much. Sniff. Suddenly, Terumi-mei was on Hyuga-chen's body and smelled a woman's scent, and her face immediately pulled down. Say, did you fool around with some woman yesterday? Terumi-mei came over, circled around Hyuga-chen a few times, and asked in a bad tone. Hyuga-chen asked in surprise, "How did you know?" "Okay, you really?" Terumi-mei looked at Hyuga-chen angrily. "The scent is very familiar, very similar to the scent of Yuki-hime. Have you gone to find Yuki-hime?" Terumi-mei turned into a famous detective. When Hyuga-chen heard the words, he smelled it on his body, and there was indeed the fragrance of Snowheim on his body, but the fragrance was not strong, and most people really couldn't smell it. I really don't know how Terumi-mei could smell from such a distance. This nose is really amazing. What about the others? Seeing the jealous Terumi-mei about to get angry, Hyuga-chen quickly changed the subject. Humph. Outside. Terumi-mei snorted coldly, glared at Hyuga-chen angrily, and went back to the room. One didn't pay attention, and let Shueheim take the lead again. Terumi-mei was about to die of anger. Hyuga-chen smiled helplessly, then left the room to see how the little girls were cultivating. Huh, why is it just you? What about the others? Hyuga-chen looked at the four girls, Makoto, Konan, Sarah, and Shizune, who were sitting and drinking tea, and asked in surprise. Kushina said that this kind of training is useless, and actual combat is the fastest way to improve strength, so I took them out, and Tsunade's sister also joined in the fun. Makoto chuckled. Hyuga-chen was slightly speechless. Kushina took them out. This is going to cause trouble. Hyuga-chen doesn't care, anyway, with the strength of Kushina and Tsunade, as long as Otsutsuki Hagoromo doesn't pop out, it's fine to toss. Even if Otsutsuki Hagoromo pops out, it's fine, as long as he goes out and stretches his muscles a bit. Although the Otsutsuki Hagoromo of this world may be stronger than the parallel world, it is definitely not much stronger. Hyuga-chen can guarantee that using Ryujin Jaka's Benkai Zenka no Tachi, Otsutsuki Hagoromo can be wiped out with one knife, guaranteeing that there will be no fraudulent corpses. Where did you get this ring? Makoto asked curiously. Hyuga-chen raised his hand, glanced at the purple gold ring, and said with a smile, "Do you like it? I'll give you one." Hyuga-chen took out a bright Yuhi-colored ring and handed it to Makoto. Makoto happily took it, and it fit just right on his hand. Me too. Konan looked at Hyuga-chen pitifully, and even Sarah and Shizune next to him looked at Hyuga-chen with both eyes expectantly. 4 rings appeared in Hyuga-chen's hands again, handing them to Konan, Sarah, and Shizune, while turning around and handing the last one to Terumi-mei, who came over. Humph. Since you sincerely gave it, I will accept it. Terumi-mei happily took it, and it could be seen that she liked this ring very much. The evening, Tsunade and Kushina pulled Kurenai Yuhi and their 4 daughters back with excitement on their faces. Huh, Makoto, Konan, where did your rings come from? Kushina asked suspiciously. It wasn't there when they went out. Makoto stretched out his finger and pointed to Hyuga-chen inside. Hyuga-chen was already prepared and took out 6 rings, including the 4 little female apprentices, each of whom had one. It's so beautiful. What material is it made of? It looks like it's made of Yuhi-colored jade. Tsunade took the ring and observed it carefully. The Yuhi jade ring glowed faintly at night, which was very touching. Stop studying this, eat now. I'm going to starve to death. Kushina yelled. Makoto and Konan brought the food, and after the meal, Kushina began to talk about what happened when they went out today. Today we met Hanzo of the Salamander, and Sister Tsunade beat his psychic beast, the Sanjiao fish, with 1 punch. You killed Hanzo's Sanshoyu. Makoto was slightly stunned. That's right, if Hanzo hadn't run so fast, he would have been smashed by Tsunade's sister's punch. Kushina said brightly, as if she was the one who shot. How did you meet Hanzo of the Salamander? Didn't he stay in a Megakure village? Did you go to a Megakure village? Hyuga-chen, who didn't care, was also a little curious. Now is the period of the Great Ninja World War. Hanzo, the guy who cherished his life, should not just leave the village casually. I heard them talking. It seems that they are going to destroy an organization called Akatsuki. Nohara Rin said softly. Hanzo wants to exterminate Akatsuki. Hyuga-chen touched his chin. A little interest appeared on his face, but he didn't expect Hanzo to start looking for trouble with Akatsuki at this time. Could it be that Hanzo's trouble with Akatsuki was not persuaded by Danzo? Or the plot has changed? Hyuga-chen thought about it and then put it down. It doesn't matter how it changes, thinking about what to do is a waste of brains. You know Akatsuki? Tsunade wondered if this Akatsuki was famous. Uchiha Madara's chess piece, that kid who has Uchiha Madara Rinnegan, is in this organization. Hyuga-chen said with a smile. So this organization was founded by Uchiha Madara? Conan asked. Hyuga-chen took a deep look at Conan. Without him as a traveler, Conan would be one of the founders of Akatsuki. Conan looked at Hyuga-chen inexplicably. He didn't understand why Hyuga-chen kept looking at her. Could it be that she said something wrong? It wasn't established by Uchiha Madara, but a kid who delusions of peace. Remember the two apprentices Jiraiya accepted at the end of the Second Ninja World War? That's them. Yuhi, Rin, Yugao, and Anko also know each other, the yellow-haired kid and Yuhi-haired kid who clashed with you before. It turned out to be them. Tsunade, Kushina, Makoto, and Conan all suddenly realized that they had all met Yahiko and Nagato before. Kurenai Yuhi, four girls nodded. It turned out to be them. Okay, stop talking about these things that have nothing to do with us, go back to sleep. Hyuga-chen stared at Tsunade, Kushina, Makoto, Conan. What do you see us doing? If you don't come with me, do you leave me alone in the empty room? After speaking, he did not give them a chance to speak, and dragged the four daughters into the room. Kokoko, damn. Terumi-Mei looked at the disappearing backs of the four and stood up angrily. Originally, today, she wanted to plan a night attack again, but looking at the current situation, she knew that she would definitely fail. Sarah gave Terumi-Mei a thoughtful look with a slightly wary expression on her face. Whether it was last night or tonight, Terumi-Mei was a little abnormal. Looks like I need to keep Terumi-Mei in check to prevent this little fox from sneaking away, Sarah said secretly. Terumi-Mei had no idea that Sarah had been eyeing her. Chapter 270 Kill Hyuga Chingchung in Akatsuki. Come out. Hyuga Hamura looked at the big tree not far away. There was no movement at all, except for the sound of the wind blowing leaves, and the sound of insects. There was no strange breath at all. If you don't come out, die. Hyuga Hamura shouted coldly. Hyuga Chingchung on the side has raised his hands, ready to start. Wait, I'll come out. White Zetsu came out immediately, with panic and horror on his face. This was the first time he had been discovered so easily except in Hyuga-chen. Could it be that the Hyuga family are not easy to mess with? White Zetsu muttered to himself. What's the purpose? Say it quickly, maybe I can spare your life. Hyuga Hamura narrowed his eyes, looking at this person and ghost. He has been walking in the ninja world for 6 or 7 years, and this is the first time he has seen such a strange thing. Hyuga Hamura has already planned to study him. It was Tatsu-sama who asked me to come. White Zetsu shouted hurriedly, seeing the dangerous light flashing in Hyuga Hamura's eyes. Master Chen asked you to come. Hyuga Chingchung's hand that was stretched out was also withdrawn. White Zetsu breathed a sigh of relief, then immediately took out the scroll that Hyuga Tatsu had given, handed it to the two guys, and ran away quickly. Would you like to catch up with him and catch that guy? Hyuga Chingchung asked. No, that guy is working for Lord Chen, let him go. Let's take a look at the scroll that Lord Chen gave first. Hyuga Hamura said. Hyuga Hamura said so, and Hyuga Chingchung didn't make a move either. The two of them were still dominated by Hyuga Hamura. Although both of them are of the same level, they are both scumbags under Hyuga Chen, but Hyuga Hamura's strength is beyond Hyuga Chingchung Hachijoji. Without the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, the strength of Hyuga Chingchung is the peak of cage level, and the gap between Hyuga Hamura of 6 paths level is too great. Open the sealed scroll, there is a letter inside. Hyuga Hamura handed the letter to Hyuga Chingchung after reading it. Tatsu-sama, let us teach Akatsuki a lesson. Didn't we find a chance to join Akatsuki before? Hyuga Chingchung was puzzled. Don't ask too much, our duty is to complete the task that the adults have explained. Hyuga Hamura said lightly. Lord Chen asked us to teach them a lesson, then we will leave them an unforgettable memory. Hyuga Hamura's eyes flashed a cold light. You don't need to take action on this matter, I can solve them alone. Hyuga Chingchung said disdainfully. Don't be careless, that kid named Nagato owns Rinnegan. Hyuga Hamura gave Hyuga Chingchung a deep look and warned. It's okay, I don't believe how much power that kid can show, maybe he can grab his Rinnegan. Hyuga Chingchung didn't care at all. Although they are not real human beings, but an artificial intelligence, but living in the human world for many years, they also have human emotions, which are no different from real human beings. On the good side of human beings, Hyuga Chingchung didn't learn much, but arrogance and arrogance all learned. Perhaps arrogance and arrogance have been engraved in his genes. You must know that the original Uchiha Chingchung is also an arrogant guy. He thinks that opening the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan can be comparable to Uchiha Madara. Master Chen is also in the land of rain, I'll go visit Master Chen first, you wait here first. After Hyuga Hamura finished speaking, she turned and left. The face of Hyuga Hamura's commanding tone, Hyuga Chingchung's face showed an angry look, very unhappy. Don't look at Hyuga Chingchung usually seems to listen to Hyuga Hamura's orders, but it does not mean that Hyuga Chingchung is convinced. On the contrary, he was quite unconvinced. In his opinion, they all serve the adults, and they are all servants. Could it be that you are strong enough to order me? Hyuga Chingchung doesn't want to be treated like a dog, being yelled at by this guy Hyuga Hamura. After Hyuga Hamura left, Hyuga Chingchung directly killed Akatsuki. He wanted to complete the task alone, and captured Nagato's Rinnegan. With Rinnegan, he cannot be treated like a dog by Hyuga Hamura, and even trample Hyuga Hamura under his feet. Thinking of this, Hyuga Chingchung's eyes glow with excitement, and it doesn't look like an intelligent machine at all. I have to say that the smart chips that Shui Hain gave to Hyuga Chen are very advanced, and can allow them to truly possess all the emotional desires of human beings. If it is not produced by the system, it is impossible to betray Hyuga Chen, the master, maybe they will betray Hyuga Chen. Akatsuki's lair is very secret, but it can't be hidden from Hyuga Chingchung, and soon he will come to Akatsuki's lair 0. A few Akatsuki personnel who let loose were killed by Hyuga Chingchung, and they went straight in. Because Hyuga Chingchung's movement was very big, Yahiko and Nagato were quickly alarmed. Looking at the corpses on the ground, Yahiko's eyes were torn apart. Why do you want to kill my companion? I fought with you. Yahiko, who was swept away by the anger, rushed forward. Useless things, you die for me. Hyuga Chingchung showed a humane cruel smile. Not good. Nagato looked at Yahiko who rushed up recklessly, his heart tightened, and he shouted, Bansho Tenon, Universal Pull. Nagato's goal was not Hyuga Chingchung, but Yahiko. Yahiko, who was about to rush up, was pulled back by Nagato. At the same time, Hyuga Chingchung's fist hit Yahiko's original position, and the air burst. If it wasn't for Nagato to pull Yahiko back, Yahiko would be absolutely dead. Damn, next time you won't be so lucky. Hyuga Chingchung roared. Yahiko, you are not an opponent, I will deal with him, you take someone away. Nagato pulled Yahiko behind him. At this time, Yahiko also woke up. Be careful with Nagato, if you can't beat it, run away. Yahiko patted Nagato's shoulder and said. Nagato gave a rare smile and nodded lightly. Yahiko left with the rest of Akatsuki, not because he wanted to leave Nagato, but because he knew that if he stayed here, he would only be dragging the oil bottle. At this time, Yahiko began to hate himself for being weak, and he had to let Nagato bear everything. No one can run away. Since you're going to be an early bird, I'll cut you first. Hyuga Chingchung sneered, then rushed towards Nagato. Shinra Tensai Almighty Push sign. Hyuga Chingchung, who rushed up, was directly knocked back by the repulsion force. Damn! Looking at Rinnegan whose hair was covering Nagato, Hyuga Chingchung's eyes flashed with greed. Such a strong Rinnegan, so much power in the hands of this guy, what if he could get it? Hyuga Chingchung's attack suddenly became more frantic, and all kinds of ninjutsu came out, making Nagato tired to deal with it. You must know that the Shinra Tensei Almighty Push sign cannot be used all the time, and every use must be at least 5 seconds apart, which is a very fatal weakness. Chapter 271 Uchiha Madara shoots a spike. Hyuga Chen, who was chatting with the girls, suddenly frowned and looked outside. Someone is here, not weaker than me, I don't know if it's an enemy or a friend. Makoto's expression was slightly solemn. With the help of Hyuga Chen, she successfully entered the 6 paths level a few days ago. Her strength has grown by leaps and bounds, and she can easily defeat her previous self. Now I can sense an aura that is no weaker than hers. Needless to say, I know that it must be a 6 paths level person. Don't worry, it's not the enemy, let me go out. Hyuga Chen lightly patted Makoto's shoulder, then used space teleport to leave. What are you looking for? I'm not interested in listening to nonsense. Hyuga Chen looked at Hyuga Hamura indifferently. The indifferent and cold eyes made Hyuga Hamura feel that his chip was about to freeze, and it almost crashed. It's nothing, I just want to come see Lord Johnson. Hyuga Hamura said cautiously. Anger flashed across Hyuga Chen's face, and he kicked Hyuga Hamura hundreds of meters away. Don't look for me if you have nothing to do, next time, die. Hyuga Chen's bone-chilling voice caused the surrounding trees to form a layer of frost. Hyuga Hamura got up, saluted Hyuga Chen, and then slowly retreated. Wait, Hyuga Chen suddenly stopped Hyuga Hamura. Lord Chen, I don't know what to do. Hyuga Hamura asked respectfully. These tenseigans are for you. Hyuga Chen threw the tenseigan to Hyuga Hamura after thinking about it. Putting these eyes on him is useless for the time being, let's use them for Hyuga Hamura first. If you need it later, take it back. Let's go. Hyuga Chen left directly. He is now unhappy because of the open and secret fight between Sarah and Chirumi Mei. But I'm not in the mood to say anything more to this guy. Even if it wasn't for Hyuga Chen needing an errand, he just killed this guy. Hyuga Hamura took the salt water bottle with the tenseigan, gouged out both eyes, and put the tenseigan on. Is no pain in the process. In fact, Hyuga Hamura will not feel pain. After all, he is just a smart chip, and this body is just a puppet he controls. Transplanting the tenseigan, Hyuga Hamura looked at the 2 Rinnegans and transplanted them in the palms of the hands, just like Otsutsuki Momoshiki. All this, Hyuga Hamura left immediately. Hand over Rinnegan, and I can spare your life. Hyuga Chingchung looked at Nagato, who was panting and embarrassed. Nagato was silent. If that's the case, I'll kill you, and then take Rinnegan. Hyuga Chingchung picked up kunai, and pointed the blade directly at Nagato's neck. Shinra Tensei Almighty Push sign. Nagato said dryly. He didn't know how many times he had used the Shinra Tensei Almighty Push sign, but he couldn't help him at all. It's not that he can't be hurt, but the opponent is just like a monster. His body was twisted into a strange shape by him, and he can still fight. If it were an ordinary person, he would have died long ago, but he is still alive and well. When encountering such a freak, Nagato is also very desperate. The other party does not know pain, is not afraid of injury, and is not afraid of anything at all. What can he do? Even Rinnegan's soul pulling couldn't help the other party, and Nagato doubted whether this guy was alive. In fact, Hyuga Chingchung is indeed not a living person. The real owner of this body is already dead. Shinra Tensei Almighty Push pushed the opponent back again, and Nagato breathed a sigh of relief and relaxed slightly. Just when Nagato was relaxing, Hyuga Chingchung, who had been knocked out, suddenly exploded into a cloud of smoke and disappeared. No, it's Shadow Clone. Nagato's pupils shrank suddenly, and a fatal crisis loomed over him. leaving him with no time to react. A fist hit Nagato's temple. Nagato's eyes were blurred, and he fell directly to the ground on the spot. Ha ha ha. Hyuga Chingchung laughed and looked into Nagato's eyes, reaching out, trying to dig out Nagato's Rinnegan. Who allowed you to spy on my things? A vicissitudes of life, slightly domineering voice came. Hyuga Chingchung didn't care about the voice behind him. He only had Rinnegan in front of him, unless Hyuga Chen personally ordered him to stop, or even if the king came, don't try to stop him. Bastard. Seeing that the other party ignored him at all and continued his actions instead, Uchiha Madara was completely angry. Rinnegan is his lifeblood, the thing he cares about the most. Even if Hyuga Chen is here, he dares to work hard. Don't think that you are Hyuga Chen's subordinate. I won't dare to kill you. Uchiha Madara came to Hyuga Chingchung in an instant and kicked him out. Hyuga Chingchung's fingers had already touched Rinnegan, and as a result, under Uchiha Madara's kick, Rinnegan got further and further away from him. Absolutely, take him away. Uchiha Madara kicked Nagato under his feet to White Zetsu. With furious eyes, he stared at Hyuga Chingchung. If it wasn't for White Zetsu telling him that Hyuga Chen's two subordinates in the Land of Rain, so interested Uchiha Madara came to take a look, maybe Rinnegan has changed hands. Uchiha Madara not be angry when his net worth is passive. Yandun Gaju Earth Life. The flaming arrows formed by Amaterasu's black flames pierced through the air. Hyuga Chingchung didn't have time to defend, and was hit by the arrow formed by Amaterasu's black flames, piercing all his limbs and head with the arrow. Amaterasu's black flame directly enveloped Hyuga Chingchung's body, and even the smart chip in his body was contaminated with Amaterasu's black flame. At this moment, Amaterasu released its power. The powerful black flame turned everything including the smart chip into ashes, and Hyuga Chingchung was completely dead. The second kill, just one move, completely killed Hyuga Chingchung. I don't know the so-called things. I dare to peep at my belongings, and I don't see if I have the strength. Uchiha Madara closed some sour eyes. Watching the black flame of Amaterasu burning continuously, Uchiha Madara controlled it to extinguish with Kaguchi. Looks like I'm going to talk to Hyuga Chen. Uchiha Madara squinted. At the beginning, Hyuga Chen had promised not to attack Rinnegan, but now that his subordinates have attacked Rinnegan, there must be an explanation. Or should Hyuga-chan give an attitude? Otherwise after he dies, if Hyuga-chan takes Rinnegan away, what will he do? It was you who killed the master. Hyuga Hamura looked at Uchiha Madara blankly, and walked slowly over. After he went back, he didn't see Hyuga Chingchung, and then he followed the traces left by Hyuga Chingchung and came here all the way. Although Hyuga Hamura doesn't care about the life and death of Hyuga Chingchung, he is afraid of Hyuga Chen's punishment. Now that Hyuga Chingchung is dead, it's too late. He can only make up for his faults, capture the person who killed Hyuga Chingchung, and hand it over to Lord Chen. Uchiha Madara looked at the old man who was older than him. Although he was an old man, he could feel the majestic vitality and was much stronger than him. Chapter 272 Suffocated. Hyuga Hamura and Uchiha Madara were at each other's throats, and the momentum on their bodies erupted, and the light rain in the sky was shaken by the strong momentum. I hope you are different from the previous trash. You can't even catch a single move from me. Uchiha Madara said lightly. Although he was already vigilant in his heart, his expression still did not change in the slightest, and it was still the same proud attitude. Gentle fist law 8 trigrams 128 palms. Hyuga Hamura didn't talk nonsense, just came up and started to fight, 2 palms left after images in the air, and the palms were burning with Yuhi's flame. This is because the attack is too fast, and the flames formed by rubbing the air are similar to Morning Peacock, the 6th gate of the 8 inner gates. Although this attack speed is fast, it has not reached the point where Uchiha Madara can't react. Dodging Hyuga Hamura's attack, and then facing him with a palm, that is, this palm directly made Uchiha Madara fly upside down for hundreds of meters. Rock wall, Uchiha Madara groaned, and cracks appeared in the rock wall behind him. What a strong physique, the people of the Hyuga family are so pervert. Uchiha Madara couldn't help but complain in his heart. No, this guy is not from the Hyuga family. Uchiha Madara looked at the two horns above Hyugahamura's head. Feeling the other party's breath, Uchiha Madara remembered, wasn't this a puppet that used Izanagi's life-saving trick to beat him many years ago? Although the appearance has changed, the breath Uchiha Madara will not feel wrong. According to Hyuga-chen, that puppet is the younger brother of the Six Paths Immortal. Thinking that the other party is the younger brother of the Six Paths Immortal, Uchiha Madara's face shows excitement. He doesn't think he will be worse than anyone. And being able to fight against the strong is also what Uchiha Madara pursues. Just let me see your strength. Uchiha Madara kicked the ground and jumped into the sky. Cadent Fire Style, Majestic Destroyer Flame, Great Fire Annihilation. The face of Uchiha Madara's Cadent Fire Style, Hyuga Hamura didn't even bother to avoid it, and used Rinnegan's suction seal to directly absorb this huge Cadent Fire Style. Pure white eyes, turned into blue Tensegan. This Tensegan is very different from Hyuga-chen's Tensegan, not the same. This is. Uchiha Madara's expression stiffened, her body tense, and the danger of ultimate came. Shinra Tensai, Almighty Push, sign. The super repulsive force went berserk, the trees instantly turned into wood chips, and the stones cracked, as if a nuclear bomb exploded, sweeping everything away. The face of the sudden attack, Uchiha Madara responded very promptly, and the blue Susanoo enveloped Uchiha Madara in an instant. Under the strong repulsion, the complete Susanoo couldn't hold on, and was torn a few times in a matter of moments. Seeing this, Uchiha Madara hurriedly consumed chakra to repair it, and persisted for half a minute before the powerful repulsion dissipated. It's just the Shinra Tensai, Almighty Push, sign, it's that strong. Uchiha Madara's brows furrowed. If the opponent uses the Super Shinra Tensai, Almighty Push, sign, can he kill him instantly? If Hyuga Hamura uses the Super Shinra Tensai, Almighty Push, sign, he can indeed kill Uchiha Madara in seconds, but he does not dare to use it. The Super Shinra Tensai, Almighty Push, has a wide range. If you use it, the entire country of Rain will be shaken. Before Uchiha Madara can be killed in seconds, Hyuga-chen in the country of Rain will kill him with a thunderbolt. Uchiha Madara should be glad that Hyuga-chen is also in the country of Rain, otherwise Hyuga Hamura will be desperate, and Uchiha Madara will definitely be blind again. Seeing this situation, Uchiha Madara didn't want to continue fighting. It was better to retreat first. Since he knew that he was not an opponent, it would be stupid to continue to fight hard. Uchiha Madara was not discouraged either. If he followed his plan, he would become a Ten-Tails Jinchuriki, column force, and his self-confidence was definitely stronger than the opponent. Uchiha Madara separated dozens of wooden clones and ran in all directions. The wooden clone is more difficult to distinguish than the shadow clone, and most people can never see the difference between the wooden clone and the main body. Even Hyuga Hamura couldn't tell the difference for a while, but it doesn't matter if you can't tell the difference, just destroy them all. Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth. 3 black spheres flew into the sky, a strong gravitational riot, and the things on the ground were pulled by gravity and flew into the sky. Uchiha Madara sneered, once Hyuga-chen but in front of him, demonstrated the Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth, cracking method. Cadent Fire Style, the fire extinguishes the arrow. No need to aim, the powerful gravitational force can make the attack automatically fly towards the black gravitational sphere of Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth. 3 Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth, were easily destroyed by Uchiha Madara in this way. While Uchiha Madara was happy, it also hurt a bit. Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth, is a bit of a waste. In fact, it can't be said to be waste materials. The key is to see how you use it and how strong the gravity is. If you can instantly seal the enemy inside, it will naturally not be destroyed. Seeing that Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth, was ineffective, Hyuga Hamura split hundreds of shadow clone and chased towards Uchiha Madara. The speed of Uchiha Madara's wooden clone is definitely not as fast as Hyuga Hamura's shadow clone, and it will be completely resolved soon, leaving only Uchiha Madara's main body to support. He found that the strength of these shadow clones was not weak. A dozen shadow clones came together, and he couldn't lift his head directly. Uchiha Madara felt aggrieved in his heart. He was a dignified Uchiha Madara, but he couldn't even deal with a group of shadow clone, and he felt aggrieved and ashamed. Yandun Susanoo. Use Amaterasu Black Flame to wrap Susanoo. The long sword in his hand is wrapped with black Amaterasu Black Flame, and slash at those shadow clones with one knife. Black Flame and Susanoo were indeed very powerful. A dozen shadow clones were swept away by a knife and disappeared into smoke. Uchiha Madara's eyes were left with blood and tears, and the pupil power was exhausted too much, and the eyes could not bear it. The black Zetsu in Uchiha Madara's mind was very anxious, and cursed Uchiha Madara secretly in his heart. Every time he went out, he didn't look at the almanac, and he was better than him when he met someone. Stop, I'll go see Hyuga-chen with you, Uchiha Madara shouted. Hyuga Hamura condensed his whole body, and the palm that was about to be shot stopped. You know Tatsu-sama? Hyuga Hamura asked. Yes, Hyuga-chen and I are collaborators. Uchiha Madara pulled out Hyuga-chen's tiger skin. Master Chen will cooperate with you. Hyuga Hamura gave Uchiha Madara a disdainful look. A guy who can't even beat him is also qualified to cooperate with adults. When I see Hyuga-chen, everything will become clear. Uchiha Madara's face was calm, but she was nervous in her heart. He is now afraid that Hyuga Hamura will do it directly. If Hyuga Hamura is really in trouble, to be honest, Uchiha Madara doesn't know how to escape. I'm afraid he may not be able to escape using Izanagi. Okay, I'll take you to see Lord Chen. If you dare to deceive me, I'll let you die, Hyuga Hamura said coldly. Uchiha Madara breathed a sigh of relief. Hyuga Hamura led the way in front, Uchiha Madara followed behind. He never thought of taking the opportunity to escape. One was that he couldn't afford to lose that person, and the other was that he couldn't escape. And he did want to talk to Hyuga-chen. Chapter 273 Makoto's Rinnegan Hitomi Technique, Ama Iwato. Why is this guy here again? Hyuga-chen, who was watching the rain with Makoto, looked into the distance angrily, only to see Hyuga Hamura and Uchiha Madara coming towards him. Strange, why did Uchiha Madara come? Hyuga-chen's expression was a little weird. Let me send them away. Makoto, who was leaning against Hyuga-chen's arms, raised his head, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. All the girls went out. She and Hyuga-chen were the only ones left to live in the two-person world. Suddenly, a few guys appeared to interrupt, which made Makoto very unhappy. Rinnegan's eyes turned pink. Makoto said softly, "A Manawato." Hyuga Hamura and Uchiha Madara, who came from a distance, were sent directly into a dark space without the slightest light. This is when Makoto opens Rinnegan. The awakened Rinnegan pupil technique is a very powerful space pupil technique. It can not only lock others into the space, but also enter the space to avoid attacks. Space is a dead, dark space. If normal people stay in it for a long time, they may become insane. What's going on? Uchiha Madara asked with a frown as he stood in the space where he couldn't see his fingers. The space was pitch black, and Uchiha Madara couldn't see anything at all. 120 in this dark and dead space, only Makoto, the master, was unaffected. Hyuga Hamura couldn't see anything either, and grabbed Uchiha Madara by feeling, but grabbed an empty one. Now Hyuga Hamura is stunned. He can't find Uchiha Madara. Could it be that Uchiha Madara ran away? Actually, he didn't know. Uchiha Madara was not far from him. Originally, Hyuga Hamura could also find Uchiha Madara with the sound of breathing. But in this space, not only can't see anything, but also can't hear any sound, and even the perception ability is blocked. If Makoto wants to kill them, he can easily kill them by sneak attack in this space, and everything in this space is under Makoto's control. As long as they are in this space, Makoto can let them experience what is called death. What is the world against you? Humph. Just let them stay inside. Makoto snorted, then continued to lean into Hyuga-chan's arms. Hyuga-chan stroked Makoto's hair. It was the first time he had seen Makoto who was arrogant and unreasonable. Hyuga Hamura can use Yomatsu Hirasaka, your space can't trap him. Hyuga Tatsu said softly. Don't be afraid, in my space, it's not easy to use space ninjutsu, I'm afraid he won't be able to use it. Makoto clenched his fist and said confidently. Hyuga-chen smiled. Makoto's Amanawato is really strong, he also tried it in, but it didn't affect him in any way, his sight and hearing would not be affected. But this is because of Hyuga-chan's strength. Kushina, who has half-footed into the Six Paths class, can't even use the space ninjutsu of Hiraishin. The space inside is extremely difficult to break open, which is equivalent to a weakened version of Hyuga-chan's space blockade. Even if it is a Six Paths level person, it will take some time to open the space to escape. And Hyuga Hamura is not thinking about going out now, he still has to find Uchiha Madara, otherwise he is afraid of being demolished by Hyuga-chan. The afternoon, Hyuga-chan looked at Makoto and said, let them both out. Makoto nodded, Rinnegan trembled slightly, and Hyuga Hamura and Uchiha Madara, who were in the dark space, were released. Uchiha Madara's eyes were bloody Yuhi, and she was locked in a dark, soundless space for most of the day. Even Uchiha Madara couldn't bear it. Facing the harsh sunlight, Uchiha Madara narrowed his eyes. Lord Chen, Hyuga Chingchung died and was killed by him. Hyuga Hamura pointed to Uchiha Madara. Hyuga Chen nodded lightly, it doesn't matter if Hyuga Chingchung is dead or not, anyway, Hyuga Chen doesn't look down on his strength. Lord Madara, we meet again. Hyuga-chan smiled. Humph. Uchiha Madara snorted coldly, if he could, he definitely didn't want to meet Hyuga-chan. Watch your attitude. Hyuga Hamura's eyes flashed coldly. Lightly, Uchiha Madara looked directly at Hyuga-chan and asked, Hyuga-chan, didn't you say you didn't want to fight Rinnegan? Why did you send your men to snatch Rinnegan? Hyuga-chan scratched his ears and said lightly, I didn't let them snatch Rinnegan, otherwise I would have gotten Rinnegan long ago. Uchiha Madara's face was blue and purple. Every time he saw Hyuga-chan, the initiative was not in his hands. In this world, strength is still respected, and only those with big fists have the right to speak. And precisely Uchiha Madara's fist is not as big as Hyuga-chan. Okay, I'm not in the mood to chat with you. Hyuga-chan waved his hand, indicating to let Uchiha Madara get out. Uchiha Madara glanced at Hyuga-chan with a blank face, and finally turned and left with an ugly face. When he became a Ten-Tails Jinchuriki column force, he would settle accounts with Hyuga-chan. Now that he wants to settle accounts with Hyuga-chan, he is not an opponent, so please bear with the anger in your heart. Master Chen. He's gone, you get the hell out of me too. Hyuga-chan said impatiently. Hyuga Hamura nodded and immediately retreated. I can see the killing intent in Uchiha Madara's eyes, why didn't he deal with him? Makoto asked in confusion. No need. Hyuga-chan shook his head and let Uchiha Madara dance. See what tricks he can jump. Then I'll make dinner first. With a peck on Hyuga-chan's face, Makoto went back to make dinner. Hyuga-chan sat in the pavilion for a while and then went back. Without Makoto, the rain was nothing to look at. Uchiha Madara was lying on the ground, Mangekyo's Sharingan turned frantically, blood was constantly spilling from the corners of his mouth, and he looked at Hyuga Hamura's back with a crazy expression. Just now, he was beaten by Hyuga Hamura. A Hyuga-chan's son-in-law actually beat him violently, which made him lose face, and his inner arrogance disappeared. When I get the power, I will tear you apart. Uchiha Madara yelled. After shouting, Uchiha Madara, who was furious and severely injured, fainted. After Uchiha Madara fainted, Black Zetsu emerged from Uchiha Madara's body, with helplessness on his dark face, and he wanted to scold him. Wanted to rely on Uchiha Madara to complete his plan, but now Uchiha Madara can't beat anyone and is bullied everywhere. Otsutsuki Hagoromo, Hyuga Chen. Black Zetsu bit Kiba, gnashing his teeth. These two people are the enemies in his heart. Otsutsuki Hagoromo can seal his mother. The strength can be imagined. Hyuga Chen's strength is unknown, but the person who can kill Otsutsuki Hamura can easily. Lurks on Uchiha Madara's body again, and can only hope that the plan will succeed. Uchiha Madara will eventually become the Ten-Tails Jinchuriki column force, resurrect his mother, and then complete his ultimate goal. Chapter 274, The Battle of Cannabis Bridge. Time flies. 2 years have passed in a blink of an eye, and the Third Ninja War is still in full swing. But the intensity is not inferior. Especially the Country of Thunder is the most crazy. The third generation of Raikage died, although it has nothing to do with Konoha, but Kumogakure vented everything on Konoha. If it wasn't for Namikaze Minato cutting off Kumogakure's supplies several times, and defeating the newly appointed 4th generation Raikage and Killer Bee Jinchuriki column force Killer Bee, which greatly improved Konoha's momentum, Kumogakure could have hit Konoha's doorstep. Same war weapon Kyubi, Nine-Tails People Jinchuriki column force Uzumaki Tomoko, also inevitably went to the battlefield, blocked the pace of Kurigakure village on the Kurigakure battlefield. The Land of Rain is the battlefield of the 3 major countries, but because Kushina brought Hyuga Chen and 4 little girls to spoil the situation, the chaos became a pot of porridge, and none of the 3 major countries took advantage. The war has become fierce, and now the villages are fighting for their heritage. Materials, money, and the top combat power of the major villages are all the heritage of the villages. In the Third Ninja War, the most dazzling is Namikaze Minato. After stabilizing the situation on the Kumogakure battlefield, he relied on the technique of Hiraishin to shuttle through the major battlefields. And at this time is the Third Ninja War, one of the most important events, that is the Battle of Cannabis Bridge. Of Iwagakure in the Land of Earth has sent more than 1,000 ninjas to cross the border of the Land of Grass and invade the border of the Land of Fire, speeding up the war. The Third Ninja World War has been going on for more than 2 years, and no one wants to continue to drag it on. The consumption of materials is too great, and all countries cannot afford it. So the Land wants to speed up the war and defeat Konoha as fast as possible. Facing Iwagakure village's offensive, Sarutobi Hiruzen dispatched Namikaze Minato to destroy Iwagakure village's supply route, Cannabis Bridge. Namikaze Minato took 3 disciples and accepted this task. In order to complete the task efficiently, Namikaze Minato proposed to divide into 2 teams. Who just became Jonin, led his teammates Uchiha Obito and Panasonic to destroy the Cannabis Bridge. Namikaze Minato rushed to the front line alone to support his comrades who were fighting hard, diverting the enemy's attention by the way, so that Kakashi and the others could successfully carry out their mission. But the mission was not smooth. Hatake Kakashi and the others were attacked shortly after they separated, and Matsushita was taken hostage. Uchiha Obito sees one of his beloveds being captured, and that's okay, and proposes to let another beloved Kakashi accompany him to rescue Panasonic. Hatake Kakashi expressed jealousy and did not want to go. Cough cough. All right. Hatake Kakashi felt that completing the task was the most important thing and did not want to save Panasonic. Those who violate the rules of the ninja, we call them trash. But, people who don't know how to value their companions are even worse than trash. After Uchiha Obito finished speaking, he turned and left, trying to rescue Panasonic alone. Leaving, he looked back at Kakashi and said solemnly, Konoha White Fang is a real hero. Hatake Kakashi's heart was shocked, and Obito's words deeply stimulated him. The same thing was said to him by his father once. Standing in the same place and thinking for a long time, Hatake Kakashi bit Kiba and followed him. Obito's words made him change. Uchiha Obito smiled when he saw Hatake Kakashi following, and he knew he was not wrong. What follows is similar to the original plot, except that Rin, who was originally cute and gentle, has become the cute blue boy of Panasonic. Obito and Kakashi worked together to rescue Panasonic, but Kakashi still lost his left eye in order to protect Obito, which moved Obito very much. Obito immediately patted his chest and said that even if Kakashi lost an eye, he would never dislike Kakashi. Just when Obito was about to say something to Kakashi, Kakashi was knocked to the ground by a sudden rubble. Uchiha Obito sees Kakashi injured and immediately comes to save him, but unfortunately he also suffers. Uchiha Obito was pressed down by the boulder, and half of his body was crushed. It was obvious that he could not survive. In the crisis of life and death, Uchiha Obito's eyes evolved into two Tomo Sharingan. Obito, you! Panasonic looked at Uchiha Obito with a trembling body. Hatake Kakashi's pupils shrank, and there was a hint of sadness in his eyes. The past few years of getting along have made Kakashi truly regard Obito as a friend, and Obito will be like this, and he is also responsible. Of course, if Kakashi knew that he regarded Obito as a friend, but Obito wanted to fuck him, he would definitely make up for Obito, who was still breathing. Half of his body was crushed, but Obito was still alive, his vitality was simply Shaoqiang. But there is also a reason for his Sharingan. In fact, at this time, Obito has already half-awakened Kamui. Kamui let his body half pass through the rock, so that he can leave his breath. Of course, even so, Obito's vitality is strong enough, and his Sharingan is definitely the most special Sharingan. Kakashi, you become Jonin. I haven't given you a gift yet, and now I'll give you my Sharingan, hoping to be your eyes. Also, take care of Panasonic. Obito looked at Kakashi tightly, with a complex meaning in his eyes, with reluctance and nostalgia for the world. Staring at Obito, Kakashi nodded heavily. Eventually Matsushita helped Kakashi transplant Obito's left eye, and the cave shook and collapsed immediately, and Hatake Kakashi and Matsushita escaped. Obito was buried in the ground. Hatake Kakashi looked sad and looked at Iwagakure outside, as if he had found an outlet. Raiden, Thunder Style, Chidori. Hatake Kakashi Sharingan Tomo turned, the thunder in the palm of the hand shone, the palm was like a sharp blade, and it made a sound like 1,000 birds chirping. Before the firelight of Jonin in Iwagakure village could speak, his body was penetrated. How can it be so fast? Jonin Huogong died unwillingly. After the outbreak, Hatake Kakashi killed all Iwagakure by himself, and asked them to bury Obito with him. Although Kakashi succeeded in destroying the Canopy Bridge in the end and completed the mission, Kakashi was not happy. In this battle, he lost his good friend. Namikaze Minato learned the news, and after a while of sadness, he temporarily suppressed the remorse in his heart. After becoming a ninja, especially in this ninja war, Namikaze Minato has become accustomed to parting ways. Although the death of his own disciple made him sad, he had to cheer up at this time. Iwagakure got the Canopy Bridge, the only supply route, was destroyed, and was completely crazy, and desperately launched an attack on Konoha. And that was their only way. Supplies were cut off, and unless they could capture Konoha, they would have to fall back. To retreat, Iwagakure attacked Konoha at all costs. The end, the crazy Iwagakure was defeated by Namikaze Minato by beheading dozens of Jonin by himself by relying on the technique of Hiraishin, and he could only retreat in defeat. In this battle, Namikaze Minato got the name of Yellow Flash, and the name spread throughout the whole ninja world. When Onoki knew the result of the battle, Yuhi's nose was crooked with anger. Why are there so many strong men in Konoha who are on their own, but they are not in the village of Iwagakure? Jealous. Chapter 275 Discuss. The Battle of Canopy Bridge almost caused the village of Iwagakure to withdraw from the ninja war, and the coalition of Onoki and the fourth generation of Kazekage Rasa was blocked from Kikyo Mountain again. Onoki's face was gloomy and terrifying, looking at Rasa, the new Kazekage, with some dissatisfaction, because Rasa's strength was too weak. Rasa, the fourth generation Kazekage, can't even beat Orochimaru. Every time he is pressed and beaten by Orochimaru, I really don't understand how this guy became Kazekage. I wonder if you have a good way to defeat Konoha, Rasa? Onoki asked nonchalantly. Rasa was silent. What could he do? I really don't know why Sunagakure village chose you as Kazekage. Could it be that there is no one in Sunagakure village? Onoki snorted coldly, his expression full of contempt and dissatisfaction. Rasa got angry and stood up abruptly. Although he is not very strong, he is ambitious and has a bad temper. Onoki taunted him so much that Rasa couldn't help it. Jiden, magnet style, Sand's shuriken. Use the sand to create a shuriken and slash at Onoki's neck. Chiyo next to her was startled. She didn't expect Rasa to be so ill-tempered. Bold, dare to attack the third generation of Tsuchikage. Lois, who guarded Onoki, was angry when he saw that the fourth generation of Kazekage dared to attack his father. Doden, earth style, the art of rock fist. The powerful rock fist smashed Rasa's gold duster shuriken, and the powerful force knocked Rasa out. Rasa's face turned to Yuhi, and the dignified Kazekage was actually repelled by a guard. If this spread out, where would his face go? Assault me, you are really brave. In front of me, you are just a junior. Onoki sat on the chair with a look of disdain. Enough, Rasa, come back. Granny Chiyo slapped the table and stood up. Rasa is still young, how is Onoki the old fox's opponent? Rasa's face was full of anger. Even Chiyo, the Kazekage consultant, yelled at him. He was really aggrieved by this Kazekage. In fact, it is true, Rasa's prestige in Sunagakure village is absolutely not comparable to Chiyo's mother-in-law, and even many people are not satisfied with Rasa becoming Kazekage. I heard that your Iwagakure village was beaten by yellow flashes and fled. I don't know if it's true. Rasa sat down and began to uncover Onoki's scars. Onoki was furious, his eyes flashing coldly. Chiyo's mother-in-law frowned and sighed in her heart. She was the one who pushed Rasa to sit on the Kazekage position at first, but now it seems that Rasa is not suitable for Kazekage at all. At this time, provoking Onoki, besides getting the jealousy of Iwagakure village, what else can you get? This is provoking enemies for Sunagakure village. If you listen to me and attack the border of the fire country together from the river country, would something like this happen? Onoki stood up and his breath surged. Although Onoki was small, no one dared to underestimate him. Onoki, the past is gone, let's talk about how to defeat Konoha now. The 4 major ninja villages shot at Konoha at the same time. If we can't beat Konoha, how will the ninja world view us? Granny Chiyo stood up and said cautiously. Onoki sat back again. Although his heart was full of anger, he was not someone who didn't care about the bigger picture. It's just that Sunagakure village does make him angry, if Sunagakure village agrees with his original plan. They Iwagakure attacked the border of the country of fire from the country of grass, Sunagakure attacked the border of the country of fire from the country of river, and let Konoha ignore each other. Their Iwagakure will never happen. The current fiasco. The 1,000 ninjas dispatched by Iwagakure village this time, more than 700 ninjas died, which can be described as heavy losses. Konoha is fine, but what about Uzumaki Kushina? Onoki looked a little heavy. Speaking of Uzumaki Kushina, Rasa stood up with a swish, biting Kiba and roaring, I must kill that woman. Just 2 months ago, Kushina took Hyuga-chan's 4 little girls and beat him hard in front of all Sunagakure. And without asking the reason, he came up and tied him with a chakra chain, and then let the 4 little girls beat him violently. After the beating, he walked away, and no one dared to stop him. This is considered by Rasa to be the shame of a lifetime, the greatest black history. Shadow of a village was madly beaten by 4 little girls, and no one in the entire Sunagakure village dared to move, staring blankly at him being beaten. It was a humiliation. He was dignified in Kazekage, and no one in Sunagakure village stepped forward to help him. Onoki looked at Rasa, who was biting Kiba's teeth, and showed a disdainful smile. Is this guy still trying to take revenge? 3 generations of Reikage were killed. What did Rasa take to get revenge? What? More. There is Hyuga-chen behind Uzumaki Kushina. Thinking of Hyuga-chen, Onoki couldn't help but shudder, and a trace of fear appeared in his heart. If you want revenge, go for it yourself, don't involve our village of Iwagakure. Onoki said coldly. Rasa, I warn you, don't provoke Uzumaki Kushina, or you won't be Kazekage. Granny Chio warned. Rasa is suffocated. He was beaten violently for no reason, and as the shadow of the great ninja village, he couldn't take revenge. I see. Rasa sat down depressed. If Chio wants to change Kazekage, with Chio's reputation in Sunagakure village, it's just a matter of words. If it wasn't for Chio getting older and not interested in Kazekage at all, Rasa would never be the 4th generation of Kazekage, and Rasa knew that. So even if he was dissatisfied with Chio in his heart, Rasa didn't dare to show it, and could only slowly weaken Chio's right to speak. As the shadow of a village, the person with the highest position in the village does not want to make the village a hall of his own, but he also wants the master to have the greatest voice. Although Chio is kind to him and supports him to become Kazekage, there are some things that he has to do, not to mention Rasa is not a good person in the first place, and he can do it with kindness and vengeance. Let's skip this topic for now. Uzumaki Kushina usually doesn't shoot, at most the 4 little girls, so I'll just avoid it in the future. Chio thought for a while and said. This is also the only solution I can think of. Although I feel a little embarrassed, I must endure it for the sake of the village. Let's discuss how to deal with the yellow flash Namikaze Minato, who is our worst enemy, said Ebizo, who had been silent. When it comes to Namikaze Minato, they have another headache. Space ninjutsu is so fast that it comes and goes without a trace. If I can limit Namikaze Minato's Hiraishin technique, I can take him down alone. Rasa's eyes flashed with confidence. Ha tilde. Onoki laughed sarcastically, who wouldn't be so arrogant, and it's not like he hasn't fought Namikaze Minato before. Even without Hiraishin's technique, Namikaze Minato is not something Rasa can take down. Rasa listened to the mocking laughter, and a flash of anger flashed in her eyes. It was too much to give him this Kazekage face. Rasa kept cursing Onoki in his heart. Obviously he was a shadow. What right do you old guy have to laugh at me? Chapter 276 Naoki and Kakuzu. Onoki, Rasa, Chio, and Ebizo discuss how to destroy Namikaze Minato. By 4 countries, Konoha was originally dead, but now Konoha is revitalized by Namikaze Minato. Although Namikaze Minato does not have the strength of one enemy, no one can stop him from attacking and destroying materials, and the materials can't keep up. How to fight? Therefore, Namikaze Minato is the key to Konoha. As long as Namikaze Minato can be won, Konoha will definitely have to lose in the end. If you want to kill Namikaze Minato, unless you ban his Hiraishin technique, no matter how many people there are, you can't kill him. Ebizo said with a sullen face. Everyone was silent. Hiraishin's technique was indeed a bit pervert. Even the 4th generation Reikage who practiced ninjutsu and possessed Raiden, Thunder style, chakra mode was not as fast as Namikaze Minato, and finally lost to Namikaze Minato. Actually, I contacted a missing nin, which may be of some help to us. Onoki said after a while. Who? Chio asked curiously. Senju Naoki, the grandson of Senju Hashirama, the god of the ninja world. Even though he's a missing nin, is he really going to help us deal with Konoha? Ebizo asked suspiciously. Senju Naoki is the grandson of the original Hokage, who knows if he will still have feelings for Konoha 22. Definitely, because he and Konoha have a mortal feud, and the Senju people died because of the high-ranking Konoha. Onoki's eyes twinkled. Then ask him to come. Rasa pouted. Don't I ask him for money? Do you know how much it costs to hire an S-class missing nin? Do you think others will work for you for nothing? Onoki asked a series of rhetorical questions, asking Rasa's cheeks to pass Yuhi. Then what are you talking about? Rasa said angrily, feeling that Onoki was just trying to embarrass him. Of course you're going to prepare the money, can't we let Iwagakure village pay for it? Onoki looked at Rasa with the idiot's eyes. How could Sunagakure choose such an idiot to become Kazekage? He couldn't see his obvious intentions. How much? Granny Chiyo asked. It's okay if the money is small, but if the money is too much, she is not taking advantage of Sunagakure village. After all, Sunagakure village is a famous poor man. Rasa can indeed make a pile of gold, but the world is different. In the world of Hokage, gold is really not a valuable item, not very valuable. Otherwise, the future Sunagakure village will not choose to reduce the number of ninjas and take the elite route because of lack of money. If it sounds good, it is called the elite line. If it sounds bad, it is because they are poor and cannot afford to support so many ninjas. 50 million taels. Onoki gestured to the number 5 with his hands. What? Why don't you grab it? Rasa jumped up and said. In fact, 50 million taels is not too much, but giving other people's money, even a tael of Rasa is also distressing, he is so stingy. Onoki wants to flip the table and leave. 50 million taels is too much for you, then you just go back to farming. What a fight. 50 million taels is okay, we can accept it. Chiyo nodded and glanced at Rasa in dissatisfaction. The more she looked at Rasa now, the less pleasing she became. She was too petty and lacked any courage, so it was difficult to make a big difference. Unfortunately, there are not many talented people in Sunagakure village, otherwise Chiyo will definitely replace Rasa, the Kazekage. Okay. Onoki nodded, took the 50 million taels given by Sunagakure village, and paid 50 million taels himself to hire Naoki. Kakuzu, I have a big job, are you interested in working with me? Naoki patted Kakuzu on the shoulder. That's right, Naoki and Kakuzu got mixed up, and it was Kakuzu, one of Akatsuki's undead duo. Kakuzu is the missing nin of Taki Ninja Village. He has a secret skill to hold grudges. He can take other people's hearts and keep them in his own body to prolong his life. Claims to have played against the first Hokage, but the actual situation is unknown. There are a total of 5 hearts on his body, and there are 5 chakra properties of thunder, wind, fire, earth, and water, which means that he can use all kinds of ninjutsu at will. As for the 2 attributes of yin and yang, the techniques that are generally related to these 2 types of chakra are basically secret techniques. This guy, Kakuzu, loves money very much. He is a money-oriented person and thinks that only money will not betray him. Accidentally met Naoki and learned that Naoki was the grandson of the first Hokage, so he was very interested in Naoki. After a fierce battle, the 2 reluctantly became friends. How much? Kakuzu asked neatly. 100 million taels, I can give you half of it afterwards, but the mission is very dangerous, and you have to participate in the Ninja World War. Naoki explained the mission clearly. After Kakuzu heard it, the green eyes turned greener, and they emitted a greedy light. Okay, I promise. Kakuzu's eyes flashed with light. 50 million taels is not a small amount, and this mission is definitely more than 50 million taels. This Naoki invited him. He can go to Iwagakure village and Sunagakure village to ask for money and eat double. The abacus in Kakuzu's heart was beating loudly. You wait, and I'll let you know when the mission is on. Naoki said and left in a hurry. He is going to find Hyuga-chen now, and this time he may play against Namikaze Minato, his tablemate, so he must ask Hyuga-chen for help. Although Naoki didn't know where Hyuga Tatsu was, he could find Kushina and the others. Kushina and the others are very famous in the ninja world, and their movements are not secret, you can find out when you ask. Naoki, why are you here? Tsunade looked at Naoki in surprise. I want to find that guy Chen, but I can't find him and can only find you guys. Naoki spread his hands helplessly. What are you doing looking for Chen? Kushina looked at Naoki vigilantly. Her fists had turned into lava, and she would hit him at any time. In Kushina's eyes, Naoki is a homosexual, a pervert, and he must not be allowed to approach Chen. What's wrong Kushina? Did Naoki offend you? Tsunade asked curiously. I told you, Naoki, this guy is pervert gay. Kushina shouted 530. What? Everyone was shocked. Conan's hand was frosted. Makoto's Sharingan turned on. Terumi was already in the hand seal. Hyuga-chen's apprentice Izuki Yugao had put his hand on Murasama Maru. Even Tsunade has a white mask in her hand. Even her own younger brother can't grab a man from her. And it's much more serious than a woman coming and robbing her of a man. Naoki was in a cold sweat, shivering with fear of the girl's murderous aura, and shouted in his heart, I'm not gay. I didn't expect you to be a gay pervert, Naoki. You'd better die. Tsunade raised his fist and was about to slam it down. Sister, I'm really not gay, I just asked Chen for help. Naoki said with a sad face. What help? The women asked in unison. I would like to ask if there is something that prohibits the use of space ninjutsu. I am useful. Naoki said cautiously, for fear that the girls would attack him. Here's this for you, let's go. Tsunade threw him a scroll covered with a mysterious spell, and then drove him away. Naoki looked depressed. Is this really his sister? Why do you despise him? So sad. Can this ban the use of space ninjutsu? How? Naoki asked. It says how to use it. Hurry up and I'll give you a ride if you don't leave. Tsunade said impatiently. Seeing that Tsunade had raised his fist, Naoki ran away immediately, feeling so depressed. It's so sad to treat his brother like this. Chapter 277 Uchiha Madara at the end of the bullet. Naoki asked you for a forbidden scroll. Hyuga-chan looked puzzled. I don't know what that guy is going to do. Tsunade nodded. Hyuga-chan is also very puzzled, not knowing what Naoki is doing to ban the empty scroll. In the ninja world now, there are not many people who know space ninjutsu. Except for them, Namikaze Minato knows space ninjutsu. Could it be that Naoki is going to find Namikaze Minato? It shouldn't be possible. Aren't these two good friends? Is it because of knowing that Namikaze Minato has Tomoko Uzumaki, and then because of love and hatred? Hyuga-chan guessed. I think it's quite possible. Kushina came interested. This guy is gay. It's definitely possible to do such a thing, maybe to arrest Namikaze Minato, and then. Tisk tilde Namikaze Minato is so pitiful. Kushina didn't know what to think about. It wasn't a good thing anyway. I didn't expect Naoki to have such a habit. Makoto shook his head. Alas, I didn't expect that Naoki would like a man. It's really disgusting to say it, and I really want to kill him now. Tsunade clenched his fists, looking like he was going to kill Naoki's shameful younger brother. Hyuga-chan's mouth twitched. He was just joking. Should it be so exaggerated? Now he also suspects that Naoki is really gay. Especially Tsunade. What the hell are you looking like to kill someone? Naoki is really your younger brother, shouldn't he have picked it up? Hyuga-chan's heart was madly complaining. Teacher, you have to stay away from that kind of person, it's disgusting. Enko tugged at Hyuga-chan's clothes. Tilde I will. Seeing the staring eyes of the girls, Hyuga-chan quickly responded. Stop talking about that Naoki guy. I heard that there is a clothing store in a small town not far away. Let's go and have a look. Kushina said. It's already night, let's talk about it tomorrow. Hyuga-chan silently retreated back. He was not interested in shopping, it was a special mental exercise for him. Chen, where are you going? Hyuga-chan turned his head and saw Makoto's smiling face with a black belly. Hyuga-chan's face suddenly collapsed. I'm afraid you guys are hungry, so I want to cook for you. Hyuga-chan showed a forced smile. Really? The girls looked suspicious. Of course it's real, it's more real than real gold. Hyuga-chan said while patting his chest. You don't need to cook, prepare to accompany us tomorrow. If you dare to run again, I see. Hyuga-chan lowered his head depressedly. Tomorrow will be another tiring day, more tiring than going through a fierce battle. Seeing how they didn't buy them after talking about the price, Hyuga-chan felt tired. Just tell me what clothes you want, and I'll make them all for you. I really don't understand them. The next day, Hyuga-chen did not escape, and was pulled by the girls like a walking dead. Shopping with us so many beauties, but still so listless, I think you really deserve to be beaten. Kushina stared at Hyuga-chen dissatisfied. How come? I'm very happy. Seeing their envious eyes, I have a strong sense of pride. Hyuga-chen said quickly. Yeah, Kushina nodded in satisfaction. HMPH. When I go back, let's see how I make you look good. Now it's fun for you to bully me. When I go back, I'll let you know who is the head of the family. Hyuga-chen showed a malicious smile on the corner of his mouth. ... The dim cave, Uchiha Obito opened his eyes, feeling the dimness around him, and felt a little uncomfortable. Are you awake? Uzumaki jabbed Obito with his hand. Ah! Obito let out a scream of slaughtering a pig. He just woke up and didn't feel anything, but now he feels a lot of pain all over his body. After screaming for a while, Obito passed out. Uchiha Madara in the distance looked at Obito with a satisfied expression. The cells that can transplant Senju Hashirama are not dead, this guy is a bit different. Lord Madara, are you looking for this guy as a pawn? White Zetsu asked. There's no time for me to continue picking pieces, so let's choose him. He can be crushed half of his body without dying, this guy's vitality is quite tenacious. Uchiha Madara said lightly. White Zetsu, investigate everything about this guy, and don't let it go. Uchiha Madara ordered. Uchiha Madara glanced at the unconscious Obito, then closed his eyes, a trace of blood spilled from the corner of his mouth. Last time he fought with Hyuga Hamura, and now he's hanging on to the vitality of Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path. There was no time for him to splurge, so after seeing Obito who was still breathing outside the cave, Uchiha Madara asked Uzumaki to save him and chose Obito to be his pawn. ... Why are there two people here? Do you still buy one get one free? Onoki looked at Naoki and Kakuzu who were walking in the distance. You are Tsuchikajinoki. Naoki looked down at Onoki, who was really too short. That's right, I'm the Onoki who hired you, who is this? Onoki looked at Kakuzu, who was a little weird beside him. Tsuchikage, with me joining, should you mention the price? Kakuzu asked in a deep voice. Naoki glanced at Kakuzu in surprise, and didn't say much, it was Kakuzu's own business. What ability do you have? Onoki looked at Kakuzu, he wasn't taking advantage of him. If this guy was really powerful, Onoki wouldn't mind spending a few extra dollars. My name is Kakuzu, I played against the original Hokage. Kakuzu said proudly. Original Hokage was enough for him to blow for a lifetime. Kakuzu. Onoki's eyes narrowed. He had heard of Kakuzu, a well-known S-class missing nin in the underground black market. 100 million taels. Onoki held out a finger. Kakuzu grinned. Deal. Kakuzu was already overjoyed, and he made 150 million taels this time, which was a huge profit, but if he knew the price of Hyuga-chan's ninja tools, he would probably cry. I'll give you half of the deposit first, and then give you the other half. Onoki asked for 2 large wooden boxes to be carried out. With green light in his eyes, Kakuzu took all the 2 boxes, opened them and counted them, then nodded in satisfaction. If you receive the money, you have to help me, or don't tell me the money in the back, that is, the money you received, you will also spit it out for me, Onoki warned. He didn't feel bad about the money. Although 200 million taels was more, it was nothing to the wealthy Danin village. Onoki was afraid that these 2 guys would take the money, and in the end he would not do anything, and Onoki also didn't want to be taken advantage of and give money away. Don't worry, I won't let you down. Kakuzu assured, he was still thinking about the last money. Naturally, he will do things seriously, otherwise the little money will run away. Chapter 278 Forbidden Scroll Horaishin expires. You are Senju Naoki. Rasa gave Naoki a disdainful look. In fact, many people in the major ninja villages don't like missing nin, and they also look down on it. Rasa is a typical example. Looking at Naoki and Kakuzu, they almost have 3 words of disdain written on their faces. Kakuzu's eyes narrowed slightly, emitting a dangerous light, and Naoki's face also showed badness, and the atmosphere was tense. Onoki watched from the sidelines. This has nothing to do with his Iwagakure village, just watching the play. Even Onoki wanted them to fight, to see how strong Senju Naoki and Kakuzu were, and whether it was worth the price. Children, you dare to grin at me, Kiba. I heard that you 3 generations of Kazekage have disappeared for no reason. It's a waste, Kakuzu sneered. Bump. Don't be too arrogant, remember what this place is. Granny Chio slapped the table and stood up. 3 generations of Kazekage is the shame of their Sunagakure village, and now Kakuzu speaks out. It is equivalent to uncovering the scars of Sunagakure village, and then sprinkle salt on it. Kakuzu didn't say anything, but gave Chio a deep look. There are ninjas from Sunagakure village everywhere. Kakuzu is not stupid and doesn't want to feel uncomfortable. Although Kakuzu is not afraid of these people, even if the ninja from Sunagakure village shoots him, he is confident to leave, but Kakuzu will not do such a thing that is not beneficial. Chio pulled Rasa and let him sit down. Why are you doing nothing at this time? Tomorrow, we need you to block the 2 cage-level characters on the opposite side, right? Ebizo looked at Kakuzu and Naoki. No problem. Naoki and Kakuzu looked at each other and nodded. At an altitude of several thousand meters, a chair floated eerily in the air, and Hyuga-chen sat on the chair holding Lolora's. I didn't expect Naoki to end up with the poor guy Kakuzu. From Hyuga-chan's point of view, Kakuzu is very sad. He is a man who loves money. He has lived for so long and earned a lot of money. In the end, all Conan bought explosive charms. After a roar, the hard work of most of his life, reluctance to eat, reluctant to wear the accumulated money, eventually turned into nothing. Fortunately, Kakuzu died at that time, otherwise Kakuzu would have to buy some noodles to hang himself. He came here because he was curious about what Naoki was going to do, and he probably knew it now, so he didn't stay here any longer. After all, it's quite cold in this high sky, although Hyuga-chen can't feel anything, but Lalula's can't stand it, and now she's lying in Hyuga-chen's arms and shivering. Lalu Lassie's little head. Hyuga-chen disappeared instantly. After Hyuga-chen disappeared, the chair that was floating in the sky fell down and smashed directly into the Sunagakure army, which shocked Sunagakure, thinking that someone was attacking him. Early the next morning, Sunagakure and Iwagakure assembled their entire army. This was their final attack. If they couldn't take Konoha, they would have to prepare for the retreat. If they won, it would be another story. Don't look at Konoha's fight against 4, it seems very difficult. In fact, Sunagakure village and Iwagakure village are not easy. During the Second Ninja World War, Hyuga-chen killed nearly half of the ninjas in his village by himself, and they still haven't recovered. In this Ninja World War, the materials were destroyed by Namikaze Minato several times, and their national strength could not bear the long-term battle. Especially the village of Sunagakure, almost poor. If it wasn't for the village of Iwagakure to support them, they would have packed up and went home now. You must also understand that we can't afford to delay. This time we win the battle, and all the losses will be made up. After Onoki finished speaking, he launched an attack with Iwagakure. Sunagakure and Iwagakure split into 2 teams and flanked towards Konoha. Sarutobi Hiruzen got the news. His face was sad, his hair was almost white, and he was more than 10 years old. Old man, don't sigh, get ready to fight. This is the time when you need to cheer up. Jiraiya persuaded beside him. Don't worry, Lord Hokage, we Konoha will win. Namikaze Minato said firmly. I don't know why, but I always have a bad feeling, I hope. Sarutobi Hiruzen put on his combat uniform and his face became solemn. Orochimaru, Jiraiya, you led 2,000 ninjas to block Sunagakure. I will take Minato and the rest of the ninjas to resist Iwagakure. Sarutobi Hiruzen ordered. On the battlefield of Iwagakure, Konoha ninja and Iwagakure stood opposite each other, and the air was filled with a chilling aura. Senju Naoki, why are you here? Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned. Why can't I be here? Let me die. Naoki didn't say a word, and rushed directly to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Pulling out the ninja sword behind him, he slashed towards Sarutobi Hiruzen. Spirituality Ape Demon. The monkey demon into a King Kong Rui stick, blocking Naoki's ninja sword. The powerful force made Sarutobi Hiruzen back 10 steps. Sarutobi Hiruzen's face sank. Naoki's strength is much stronger than him. Lord Hokage, leave Naoki to me. Namikaze Minato stood in front of Sarutobi Hiruzen, holding kunai tightly in his hand. Minato, I didn't expect the day when we would become enemies. Naoki retracted the knife and looked at Namikaze Minato flatly. Why Naoki, didn't you say you want to be Hokage? Didn't we promise to work towards Hokage's position together? Namikaze Minato asked. You don't understand, standing in front of me now is my enemy, and you are no exception. Sweetened water style, hard whirlpool water blade. Uzumaki water flow appeared in Naoki's hand, and the water flow condensed into the shape of a javelin and threw it at Namikaze Minato. That's Hokage's ninjutsu, Minato, be careful. Sarutobi Hiruzen reminded. Remind others that you should take care of yourself first. Onoki sneered, and the rock fist smashed towards Sarutobi Hiruzen. The four-tailed man Jinchuriki column Lee Lousy rushed into the Konoha army to kill, and no one could resist the four-tailed man Jinchuriki column Lee Lousy. Namikaze Minato used Hiraishin to avoid Naoki's hard whirlpool water blade, the water spout formed by the hard whirlpool water blade, and directly strangled more than a dozen Konoha ninjas. Naoki! Namikaze Minato roared, approaching the sacred tree instantly with the technique of Hiraishin, and then Rasengan hit Naoki. Rasengan. Rasengan also appeared in Naoki's hands. The two Rasengans collided together. After a short stalemate, Naoki was the better player and knocked Namikaze Minato out. Naoki's strength has reached the peak of cage level, and he has a perfect sage body. If Namikaze Minato does not use Hiraishin's technique, he is not Naoki's opponent at all. Namikaze Minato took out dozens of Hiraishin kunai and threw them at Naoki. Seeing this, Naoki took out the forbidden scroll, entered chakra into it, and then the scroll disappeared, and the space fluctuated slightly. Namikaze Minato frowned. His instinct was not good, and when he wanted to activate Hiraishin, he realized that he couldn't use the Hiraishin technique. Hiraishin has failed. Namikaze Minato could sense the spell, but couldn't travel through space. Chapter 279 Adventurous Moon Otsutsuki Kagaya. What's going on? Namikaze Minato looked at Naoki blankly. The Forbidden Scroll, you can prohibit space ninjutsu. Unless you can break this prohibition with powerful force, you will never be able to use space ninjutsu. Naoki said flatly. Of course, Naoki didn't say that this scroll can only affect a range of 1 kilometer, and only 2 hours. Namikaze Minato showed a bitter smile and could only pick up the kunai, guarding against Naoki's attack. Judging from the fight just now, Namikaze Minato knew that without Hiraishin's technique, he probably wouldn't be Naoki's opponent. In order not to let you affect me, you should go down. Whirlwind kick. The high-speed kick blew a whirlwind, heading straight for Namikaze Minato's face. Namikaze Minato was horrified and could only barely hold Naoki's kick with both arms. The attack speed was too fast. Namikaze Minato's mind could react, but his body couldn't keep up. Namikaze Minato's physical skills are not bad, at least in general cage level can't compare to him, but compared to Naoki, there is some gap. They compare the two. Naoki is an RMB player, and Namikaze Minato is a civilian player. After finally having a powerful skill, he was banned by Naoki, a RMB player. So Namikaze Minato is very hard. Facing Naoki's stormy attack, he doesn't even have time to release ninjutsu. Wow, look at this situation. Konoha has lost. Kushina sat cross-legged on the top of the mountain in the distance. Indeed, Konoha will definitely lose, no accident. Tsunade nodded, looking at Naoki who was fighting Namikaze Minato in the distance. Can Naoki beat that sissy Namikaze Minato? Absolutely, you can't use Hiraishin's technique. Namikaze Minato's strength has been cut in half, let's go. This kind of battle is nothing to watch, it's better to go back to sleep. Hyuga-chan yawned. Go on your own, we'll see it here too. Hyuga-chan shrugged and left alone. He's really gone. Kushina looked at Hyuga-chan's back and couldn't help but be a little speechless. If you let you go, you're really going. Don't you know that you are here to accompany us? Regarding the outcome of the third battle, Hyuga-chan was not interested in knowing. If nothing else, Konoha would win in the end. After staying in this world for more than 20 years, Hyuga-chan also discovered that as long as there are no irresistible factors, the plot will eventually return to the right track. As for why this happened, and whether it was destined, Hyuga-chan didn't know or was interested in knowing, he just had to grasp his own destiny. Looking up at the sky, his sharp eyes seemed to pierce the sky. Stretched out his hand and slammed it, and the space was like paper in front of Hyuga-chan, which was torn apart by Hyuga-chan, and then Hyuga-chan stepped into the space. Hyuga-chan came out, he was already in a tattered ruin. Looking at the ruins, Hyuga-chan sighed slightly. This is the moon. When Hyuga-chan killed the moon, got a huge Tensegan, and killed Otsutsuki Hamura, it was a blast. Now that I think about it, Hyuga-chan is a little scared. He was a little swollen at that time. Fortunately, he didn't go to Otsutsuki Hagoromo at that time, otherwise he would be hanged and beaten by Otsutsuki Hagoromo. At that time, Hyuga-chan's strength was strong, but compared with Otsutsuki Hagoromo, who had all his cards, there might still be some gap. Hyuga-chan came to the moon, of course not to miss the past, he is not a person who is immersed in the past. Otsutsuki Kagaya, the ancestor of Chakra, the goddess of Mao. Speaking of Otsutsuki Kagaya, this is also a tough character who created 3 sons with yin and yang. 2 betrayed her, a seemingly loyal black Zetsu, but also a ghost, and the black Zetsu guy is also misguided. That's right, the 2 brothers Otsutsuki Hagoromo were also created by Otsutsuki Kagaya using the yin and yang escape. As for why Hyuga-chan knew, of course, Hyuga-chan checked the memory of the parallel world Otsutsuki Hagoromo. The development of the parallel world and this world should be exactly the same. It is no surprise that the 2 brothers Otsutsuki Hagoromo in this world were also created by yin and yang. Kagaya Haim in the parallel world seems to have been killed by Hyuga-chan. When Hyuga-chan left, he used Zenka no Tachi to wipe out the moon. Although Kagaya Haim claims to be immortal, but the sacred tree was swallowed into slag by Hyuga-chan, can Kagaya Haim still be immortal? Unconsciously, it seems like I killed a girl. Hyuga-chan scratched his head. At the moon, he also thought about looking for Kagaya Haim the last time he came, but couldn't find where she was sealed. Now coming here again, Hyuga-chan can clearly perceive that there is a faint spatial fluctuation in the very center of the moon. Following this faint space fluctuation, Hyuga-chan broke the seal blocking him and came to a space. This place is very large, with green trees and flowers everywhere, the only flaw is that there is no life. Is this the space where Otsutsuki Kagaya is sealed? Hyuga-chan looked around curiously, and had to say that the scenery was pretty good. It seems that Otsutsuki Kagaya is quite comfortable here. Hyuga-chan said with a smile. Of course, Hyuga-chan is just a smile. Anyone who has been locked up here for over 1,000 years will not feel at ease. Where's Otsutsuki Kagaya? Hyuga-chan looked around, and soon saw a figure lying on the green ground in the distance. Hyuga-chan walked over and looked at Kagaya Haim who was lying on the ground, extremely quiet, her crystal clear snow skin and jade skin shone like a Kiba halo, and her cheeks were even more beautiful. This hair is really long. Hyuga-chan looked at Otsutsuki Kagaya's hair that was definitely over 2 meters long and complained. Hey, woman. Hyuga-chan crouched down and poked Otsutsuki Kagaya in the face. Don't wake up. Try pulling the ears. Hyuga-chan reached out and tugged at Otsutsuki Kagaya's head, the same thing as rabbit ears. Otsutsuki Kagaya opened his eyes, looked at Hyuga-chen in front of him, looked a little dazed, and blinked. Click. Sound. The top of Otsutsuki Kagaya's head was suspected to be the stuff of bunny ears, because Hyuga-chen used too much force and opened a hole. Hyuga-chen was stunned for a while, then he took his hand away embarrassingly, which was too weak. Death to me. After a while, Otsutsuki Kagaya, who had reacted, slammed his fist at Hyuga-chen. Hyuga-chen, this fist was a little weak. Otsutsuki Kagaya did not have a trace of chakra on her body at this time, and her chakra had been deprived by Otsutsuki Hagoromo when she was sealed. The chakra of 10 tails is her chakra. Otsutsuki Kagaya is the real 10 tails. She is 10 tails is her. Without a trace of chakra, just relying on Otsutsuki Kagaya's own physical strength, hitting Hyuga-chen will tickle. Of course, even if she regained all her power, the result would be the same on Hyuga-chen. Chapter 280 Crying Otsutsuki Kagaya. Go a little to the left and thump me on the left shoulder. Hyuga-chen said to Otsutsuki Kagaya, who kept throwing punches, with a teasing smile on his face. Otsutsuki Kagaya stopped attacking, her pure white eyes flashed with anger, and she really didn't pay attention to her at all. Why did you stop? Go on. Hyuga-chen squinted and looked at Otsutsuki Kagaya in surprise, as if blaming her for stopping. Otsutsuki Kagaya looked at Hyuga-chen vigilantly. Who are you? Why are you here? Come if you want, there are so many reasons. Hyuga-chen lay on the ground, looking at the sky. Although it was only a small space, there was also a blue sky Shirakumo here. You decorated this place? Hyuga-chen asked. He didn't believe Otsutsuki Hagoromo sealed her and then created a beautiful environment for her. Humph. Otsutsuki Kagaya snorted coldly. She really decorated this place herself. In order to decorate this space, she exhausted the last trace of chakra left in her body. Hagoromo's evil son sent you in. Did he want to see if his concubine was dead? Otsutsuki Kagaya said coldly. He didn't send me in. I came in myself. Hyuga-chen shook his head slightly. Otsutsuki Kagaya didn't believe Hyuga-chen's words at all. There was a seal outside this space. Even if she couldn't break it, no one else could come in. At this time, Otsutsuki Kagaya forgot about the incident that he attacked Hyuga-chen before, but did not cause any harm to Hyuga-chen. It can only be said that she was too forgetful. I have to say that this woman, Otsutsuki Kagaya, is indeed a bit dumb, or she has a strong body and is sealed by her 2 sons, which is really a shame to throw her home. Do you hate Otsutsuki Hagoromo? Hyuga-chen asked the nonsense. My concubine can't wait for them to die. They are only 2 tools created by me, yet they dare to betray me. Otsutsuki Kagaya's face was hideous, like a ghost. Hyuga-chen was taken aback. The quiet appearance of Otsutsuki Kagaya when he was sleeping before is in stark contrast to the current state. Sister, calm down first. Do you know that when you're angry, this hideous look can scare children to death? Hyuga-chen said quickly. You're saying I'm ugly, give me death. Otsutsuki Kagaya, who didn't have a long memory, punched Hyuga-chen again. It seems necessary to keep your memory long. Hyuga-chen stretched out his hand to grab Otsutsuki Kagaya's fist and said lightly. By Hyuga-chen, Otsutsuki Kagaya struggled hard. Hurry up and let go of the concubine, or the concubine will make you look good. Otsutsuki Kagaya threatened loudly. I admire you the most who dares to threaten others who have no trump card. It's you who is the one who said nothing of Hungarian. Damn, you dare to insult your concubine. And when I regain my strength, I will definitely retaliate against you. Otsutsuki Kagaya trembled in anger. Ha ha tilde. Hyuga-chen sneered twice. Clap clap clap. Harmonious popping. Otsutsuki Kagaya clutched her ass and looked at Hyuga-chen angrily. Are you still stubborn? The concubine will definitely kill you. Otsutsuki Kagaya roared, biting Kiba's teeth. Hyuga-chen laughed, and the big slap fell again. This time, Otsutsuki Kagaya was much more honest. lying on the ground dumbfounded without saying a word. I don't need to clean up. I have to be taught a lesson, to be honest. Hyuga-chen put his hand on Otsutsuki Kagaya's head and repaired her stuff that was suspected to be bunny ears. After all, he broke it. Do you want to go out? I can take you out. Hyuga-chen looked at Otsutsuki Kagaya. Otsutsuki Kagaya's eyes flashed with a flash of inspiration, and there was a hint of yearning on his face. He had been here for more than 1,000 years. If he hadn't passed the time by sleeping, Otsutsuki Kagaya would have gone crazy long ago. Hearing that Hyuga-chen could take her out, Otsutsuki Kagaya was moved. Can you really take your concubine out? Are you questioning me? You dare to question me? I won't take you out, you stay here. Hyuga-chen said dissatisfiedly. Concubine. Humph. Hyuga-chen snorted coldly, then left the sealed space. Otsutsuki Kagaya stared blankly at Hyuga-chen, who was leaving, and couldn't help shedding tears. She didn't have any doubts without such a bully. What are you doing? Hyuga-chen appeared again, looking at Otsutsuki Kagaya playfully. Seeing Hyuga-chen, Otsutsuki Kagaya turned around quickly, wiped his tears, his face slightly yuhi, and his heart was full of shame. My concubine didn't cry, Otsutsuki Kagaya said seriously to Hyuga-chen after wiping away her tears. Puchi tilde ha ha ha. Yes, you didn't cry, it was Otsutsuki Kagaya who was crying. Hyuga-chen laughed. Why are you back? Do you want to leave with your concubine? Otsutsuki Kagaya looked at Hyuga-chen expectantly. No, I just forgot to take something. Hyuga-chen reached out and pressed Otsutsuki Kagaya's forehead, then used Rinnegan to devour God. After a few seconds, Hyuga-chen took his hand away, then dodged and disappeared. Otsutsuki Kagaya was stunned the whole time, until after Hyuga-chen had left for a long time, did he come back to his senses, touched his forehead, and the tears remained unconsciously again. Wow woohoo tilde, Otsutsuki Kagaya cried like a child, because she clearly felt that the 9-tomo samsara sharingan on her forehead was gone. It has completely disappeared. Shameless thief, samsara sharingan who robbed a concubine, woohoo. Otsutsuki Kagaya sat on the ground and cried. Thousands of years ago, she was created by herself to fight against the Otsutsuki trio's 6 paths brothers who robbed chakra, deprived her of her power, and now she was robbed of samsara sharingan. How could she be so miserable? Originally because Hyuga-chen is the only person Otsutsuki Kagaya has seen for more than 1,000 years, plus Hyuga-chen's attractiveness to the opposite sex, she also has a good impression of Hyuga-chen. Not to mention her good feelings now, she has listed Hyuga-chen as an enemy, and she can't wait to kill him. Don't blame me, I'm doing it for your own good too. The reincarnation sharingan on your forehead is too ugly. Without it, it can improve your appearance. I will come to see you when I have time. The voice of Hyuga-chen reached the ears of the crying Otsutsuki Kagaya, and the originally crying Otsutsuki Kagaya immediately stood up and wiped away her tears. After looking around, I didn't see Hyuga-chen's figure. Shameless thief, hurry up and return your concubine's samsara sharingan, You robber, thief, and the traitor Otsutsuki Hagoromo are the same raccoon dog. Otsutsuki Kagaya shouted angrily. No matter how she yelled, no one responded to her because Hyuga-chen had already left. As for letting Otsutsuki Kagaya out, Hyuga-chen hasn't thought about it yet, so let's let her out after she has been trained first. Otherwise, with her character, it will not be turned upside down.